I think Falcons does a very good job of making sure that no matter what their roster composition is, people still view them as the Saudi roster. They will always have Sherma Jed literally throwing himself onto the stage to be the first man to hoist the trophy in the air when they win. It was actually insane that Falcons won, and I look to my right and there's just nobody there anymore. Like Marjed was co-streaming at the computer next to me, and it's like Marjed's gone, and it's like, oh, okay, whatever. Maybe he's just gone to talk to the crowd. And then I'm watching the stream, and I see he's the first person going yeah! with the trophy in hand, and it's like, what?
I respect that. It's goaded for that. I respect that. Going into Tony, how our brackets look like was okay, TM is gonna kill Falcons on that side. We're gonna kill Racoon on our side, and we're gonna beat in grand finals. But fucking TM had to fucking lose to Sign Esports in the group stages. Became second seed. Came to our side. They ended up beating Racoon instead of us, and then we had to meet Falcons in the grand finals. I blame TM for the downfall of EMEA. Actually, they had to beat Falcons. Actually,
thank you, Yubi.
A metaphor I would use is the prop, Stalker would be in a video game, it would be the strongest sword. It'll be the strongest sword you can wield, but then the Proper is the one who can control it really well. So Proper does most of the calls in the team for Falcons. So you really need to have Proper a micro telling the team all the macro stuff. It's kind of what Checkmate did for our team as well. The macroing people is super important. So
hello everyone, welcome to episode 41 of Uncoachable with a very special guest for our Esports World Cup special, grand finalist JunkBuck. Now, there was a bit of me that kind of hoped that you lost to Geekay, so Uncoachable gonna have the exclusive to you ending your life live on air. But you managed to win that group stage game, you get to stay alive, and you actually got all the way to the grand final. So before we get into the details of the matches, Junk, how was the event itself? Second time at the Esports World Cup, how did it compare to last time?
I actually think compared to last year, it was much more efficient, much more a smooth, the whole process. I don't think something like last year. I remember Landon told me the SSG guys, you guys had to play a match at 2 a.m. because everything got delayed so much and everything. So there wasn't anything like that this time. So in terms of operational stuff, I think it was a lot more smooth. And then we stayed in the same hotel and everything, so those are all fine too. And then, yeah, the practice was normal. Yeah, everything was pretty much smooth, actually.
How long was the drive from the hotel to the arena? Because it was meant to be 5 minutes last year, but there was road work.
Yeah,
it made it take 45 minutes. Was it fixed?
Yeah. No. It's. I would say it's. I guess I didn't have much expectations, or if you keep the expectations low, everything is good. So I didn't have we have to get there in time. So just the expectation of having a good warm up and everything. I just had none of those. So if you don't have any expectations, then everything's good.
Keep them low.
Yeah.
How was it? Because I think obviously didn't get to go myself, but the whole stage looked bigger and better. The crowd seemed even more up for it than last year.
Yeah, actually, last year, because I didn't go on the stage last year, I don't know how the stage looked actually as much. But then the stage and everything, the crowd, it felt like a real the fans were hyping everything up, and it was good. The whole stage experience was good.
Yeah, the crowd really seemed mental, maybe compared to anything we'd seen really in Overwatch esports in a long time.
Yeah.
Even how did it compare to Hangzhou?
Yeah, I mean the fans were bringing drums and then they'll bang their drums while the people were playing and stuff. So it was actually crazy.
Yeah, it feels like a long time. Maybe never had anything like that in Overwatch before, really. Fans really turned out in force.
Saudi ultras, for all of the Saudi team games.
Yeah.
It was a good time to be a Saudi fan as well, right? Because what was it? 3 in the semi-finals?
Yeah. TM, us, Falcons.
Yeah, so they got their money's worth, yeah.
Also, I was thinking the Falcons fans will be overwhelmed, the crowd too. But then we had decent amount, like I would say almost half was like a Qadsiah fans. So it was like a very, very, what was it? Not one-sided. It was like very, very like loud on both sides too.
I never understood it. It was the same with Overwatch League. Like, you know, when London went full Korean and everyone was like, oh, I'm from England, so I support London. I never understood that, you know? Like, if you're a Saudi fan, you should support Al Qad or TM, right? Because, like, they're Saudi orgs with Saudi players, you know? Like, they absolutely love Falcons, but it's just a bunch of fucking Koreans as always.
I don't think that it's necessarily true though. Like I look on social media after the fact and it's like there are definitely people in the arena like cheering for Falcons, right? But I literally see people on social media after the fact being like, don't support Falcons, don't buy the propaganda. This is a fake Saudi team. There are no Saudis on this roster. So I think that like
but that's not real. Those people are real.
No, like there are not the entire EMEA community having the wool pulled over their eyes with regards to Team Falcons.
So I think those are like the true Overwatch fans, but actually the Team Falcons, like for normal people in Saudi, they're like Falcons is like they're like the national team. So like if you're not a true, the true Overwatch fans might say things like that, but I think like so I would meet like a random people. I was like eat at like some restaurant with my team, and then the people will come up and oh, you guys pro gamers, and then they'll be like, oh, they know Team Falcons and things like that. So there's like, I think that's why like Team Falcons is like the national team of Saudi.
I think Falcons does a very good job of like, you know, making sure that no matter what their roster composition is, people still view them as the Saudi roster. You know, like they will always have Majed literally throwing himself onto the stage to be the first man to hoist the trophy in the air when they win. Like it was actually insane that Falcons won, and I look to my right and there's just nobody there anymore. Like Majed was co-streaming at the computer next to me, and it's like Majid's gone, and it's like, oh, okay, whatever, you know, maybe he's just like gone to like talk to the crowd. And then I'm watching the stream and I see he's the first person going, yeah! with the trophy in hand, and it's like, what?
I respect that. It's goaded for that. I respect it.
I mean,
that's what Falcons paying for.
When Space Station win the major in Stockholm, I'm doing the same thing. I'm getting on the stage immediately. I'm getting my hands on that trophy first.
Just class.
Do you think the Falcons Ultras, so they just bring the drum and they just go around all the stages just anytime Falcons are playing? Like, it doesn't matter the game? Is that what they actually do?
I think there is. I think there is like the band, the group of guys who are like a hardcore Falcons supporters. I think there is like a Falcons supporter group actually.
Okay, that actually makes more sense then, you know?
Because there's multiple games as well, right? So I wouldn't be surprised if they almost just hop from like arena to arena because it's all in the same place.
Yeah, they just
following
got like
the Falcons action.
Hikaru is Falcons for chess, so maybe they went supporting him with the drum and then came to watch
a drum during chess.
That'll be so annoying in chess.
You're trying to focus as we enter the final 30 seconds and you're having to make these split-second decisions, and it's just the drum in the background.
Were you in the same hotel as the chess players, JunkBuck?
Oh yeah. I would see the Hikamaru. I forgot his name, but I would see me eat like lunch at the hotel buffet and stuff.
That would have been kind of cool. I kind of wish now I'd qualified. I should have tried harder during stage 2.
What, so you could walk past Hikaru and be like, checkmate. As you
would have fucking loved that. Though. I might have done a better British accent, but he would have fucking loved
it. That's why we all do this, right? Just for the chance to walk past famous chess players at one time in our lives.
100%.
Should we talk a little bit about the Overwatch as well? Because, wow, a few of us weren't in attendance for one reason or another. JunkBuck, you guys obviously went all the way to the grand final. Did you think that was possible before the event?
No, like I would say like right before the event, I think it was possible. I did feel like we were like one of the strongest team. I would say like I was thinking like us, TM, and Falcons, and Crazy Racoon, just because like they've always done well in their land. So those 4 teams would have been like the strongest team in the event. But out of those 4, I think we had like a super good matchup against Falcons. So I kind of wanted to play Falcons. I mean not Falcons, Racoon. So yeah, going into the event, we felt like really confident actually.
Was that confidence shaken at all when? Because I think obviously you were pretty confident going into the group stage against Geekay. But then go 2 maps up. It feels like it's all done. Everything has come true. But then they get 2 maps in a row. How worried were you? What was going wrong?
Actually,
there?
I wasn't worried too much about that game actually, because like at the end of the day, it is group stage, so we can just win in the bracket anyways. And then what was it? The GK match was like we were literally like 1 fight away from 3-0ing them. So like our first 2 maps was not even close, and then so third map became close. I do feel like what was it we could have won the third map, I think, but then like how should I say it? Like losing 1 map can happen, like even if you're the best team in the world, like losing 1 map can happen. So yeah, it's whatever. But then when we lost the 4th map, I think it got like more weird. I think we lost a little bit, like we got shaken up a bit there. And so going into 5th map, I think like we didn't start strong in the 5th map too. But I think the players ended up playing it really well on the 5th map. So so thank God the players did really well on the 5th map, even though like I kind of like trolled going into map 5, thinking like it wouldn't like work out that way. But anyways, so but at the end of the day, the Geekay match didn't like really like made us like less confident going into the rest of the matches. I think we still felt like we're just strong team, but then the match just happened to be like map 5 in the end, because it should have been like we're 1 fight away from 3-0ing.
But this is like the question which has engaged the most minds ever across Overwatch, is the World Cup. Like people love to discuss World Cup roster.
The theory craft it.
Yeah,
I don't get it. Like I sort of get it because it's like a fun theory craft, but it happens so often. I remember when I first started streaming, people would always ask, because I'd have like Jamie on or you on or Astro on or something, but like, who would be on Team UK? And you sort of do it once, but it feels like it comes up every few days. And it's just we're going to get to a few more questions that are along this trend in the Q&A as well. But
like, I swear, I don't know the finances, but I swear Blizzard, like, I've actually made this World Cup thing, which is actually so engaging. Like, people care about this so much more than anything else. And I swear, like, honestly, they should have just put they should actually, honestly, this is latest hot take that I've just come up with now, but is right. They should have scrapped off Overwatch everything and just always made it World Cup. Just made it fully international all the time. 2 or 3 events a year. Yeah.
And if you're done a Euros and like an Asia tournament and America's tournament, that all builds into a World Cup, like even twice a year or something.
No, that's what they should have done. I love the World Cup. Can we go back quickly? Can we ask about your scrim results? Because I saw most of TM's scrims throughout the boot camp, and they were like the best I'd ever seen a Western team do in one of these Korean boot camps ever. Was it the same for you guys as well?
Yeah. So we did really, really well, but what was it? We had what was it? Few like troubles towards the end. So when we first scrimmed the Korean teams, we lost like the first couple scrims against the Koreans, but then we started winning. But then like in the end, we had a hard time against Falcons, and what was it? Against T1, we did kind of bad in the last scrim against T1 too. So, but then T1, the thing is like we tried to just play like a sim ban and a lot against them, and then so like as if like even though they didn't ban sim in our scrims, so we just like scrim that way, just to have like a lot of practice on them. And so that's why we like had a lot more trouble. But then we ended up like, and then in the end, we also tried sim, and we still had a difficult time. So other than those two, I would say like we did really well. But TM, actually, we were like always a half and half, with them winning like 1 more map. So if he did like a 3-hour block, like, it would be like 4-3 kind of thing. Like it would be 4-3 or 3-2. It's like they would like win 1 more map in the end, or something like that, I guess. Yeah.
Yeah, because I know one thing I kind of realized was that whenever, like last season, right, when we were on SSG and we did the Korean boot camp and we'd come out of a scrim block and we'd like, let's say we played Falcons and we won 3-2 and every single map in the scrim was like 99-99. It was all dogfight. We would come away and we'd be like, oh yeah, that was a close scrim. We can beat the Koreans. We beat the Koreans, you know? And then we'd get to the LAN and then you would just get absolutely ass smoked. And what I kind of realized was, what actually happens is these teams aren't like 100% locked in, you know, like the stakes aren't high enough for them to super try. But then I kind of learned my lesson, you know, and I thought, okay, scrims aren't that important. And then I saw like the EU teams this time, and I was watching like TM scrim, and they would be like 5-1 against these Korean teams. And some of the maps, like I remember like scrimming like Crazy Racoon one time and full capping a push map in like 3 minutes. And I was like, oh, holy shit, like this actually just never happens before, actually, right? Like it wasn't just we were just winning. So then that's when I was really thought, I looked at the meta, that's when I really, really started to think, oh shit, EU can actually maybe win this one. Because even if the Korean teams lock in, there's still like a big enough gap where maybe Europe can win it. And that's where the uncoachable guarantee had to come into effect.
Yeah. I think for the scrims, like whenever to like evaluate the scrim results, I think you really have to look at like the context of it, context of the scrim. So like so let's say well, will be like a quick easy example, like a band. So if you did a band, like is it like a real band? Is it like a realistic band? Is it like a band that you would do or they would have done? And then like the also what happened in the scrim, like the game, like is this like if you can kind of see like in the scrim, like this team was value testing or they were trying to win. So especially for like my team, our team actually is like how I approach scrims is scrim results really doesn't matter. So like for example during OWCS EMEA, like we lost a lot of scrims, even to you guys against TU, like we will lose so much scrims.
Even to
but
us.
then so in the it's like a context, like is it? But then if it's like a scrim that like we really try to win, but then if you lose, then that's when it's like a red flag. But then if it's like we're like value testing, in the realistic scenario, this wouldn't happen anyways. But then like we got something out of it, like Soldier playing like this is actually a good thing. Oh, their team did really well that way, so we can just use that in the real match and things like that. So I think in the end, you have to look at the context a lot for the scrim results. But then there are scrim results where like okay, this was like a real thing. We tried really hard, and then like we still lost. Then it's like a red flag.
There was a part of me, right, where towards the end of the week, like I would say that, like I think it was the same for you guys. You said it right. Like the scrim results were really good, and then there was like it started to like the last few days, and there was a part of me which thinks, has this been like a situation where because the EMEA teams, the sim teams, scrimmed the Korean teams so much, they've kind of been like found out and downloaded a little bit. And there's a part of me going into which wondered, was there actually an argument? The better strategy was just don't scrim any Koreans, just don't show them this style at all, and just fully let it coin flip on match day. And when I saw TM losing and then I saw you guys go, I thought, fuck, the Koreans are just going to kind of dominate it again. And maybe like you guys inted by trying to play the Koreans, like showing them too much. Do you think there's any like argument to that, or did you learn as much from them as they learned from you?
I think it's like a super valid like what's the argument? I think like hindsight, who knows? Like if he never scrimmed them, maybe we would have done better too. But there's few things also is like against dive teams especially. I think because the Korea didn't play a lot of them, they tried to play dive a lot. So I think if you're to have like just went into the scrim without screaming the dive teams, then I think it could have went either way for them. Like they didn't get sim practice, but we didn't get dive practice. So
you scrim?
Can you tell me? I want to know when you scrim Korea for the first time, who won?
So they won in the first few scrims. So we even lost our very first scrim. So like having a practice against Adventure was like a good thing too. So we lost our very first Korean team scrim was like AGG, then like Racoon and what was that? Oh Weibo too. Weibo Weibo is like more weird because like Weibo, we like Calyx didn't come to Korea right away, so we had to play with the ringer, and so that's why like we will like lose the first 2 maps and stuff. But in general, I think we got a lot of like out of them first in the beginning. So I think in the end it could have been like worked both way. But I do think maybe. Actually, I don't know. Like Falcons is like since that's the only team we lost to. That's like if I were to think of like in terms of like how would have things look differently against Falcons, maybe if nobody scrimmed Falcon, if none of the same teams scrimmed the Falcons, then maybe I think that's like the only team maybe I think we could have done better then. Because I think Falcons like learned a lot throughout the tournament. I think they just got better throughout the tournament. So.
That seems to be the impression from what I heard as well. That Falcons, the longer it went on, the better Falcons were getting. Because it was quite a long, was it like 2 weeks for most teams for boot camp as well?
Yeah.
So just Falcons' progress very much just sort of straight line up.
Yeah.
This feels like very classic of like both Falcons and Crazy Racoon in a lot of ways, where it's like every single tournament time, like regardless of how they roll into it, it's like Korea playoffs will come. And well, I suppose this time around Falcons didn't make it to the top 2 of the playoffs. Because they decided to do the Jafonzo Award farming route. But other than that, like they always just ramp up more and more and more towards these tournaments, and like Falcons embodied that pretty much like as well as they possibly could have this time around. But I don't know. I feel like a lot of Western teams don't really embody that mantra whatsoever in terms of like consistent improvement as the tournament rolls in and getting to the point that they actually win it. Whereas Falcons and Crazy Racoon, it's like they'll quite literally like Crazy Racoon will get upset by an American team and then win the tournament 2 days later. Like there's a pretty different
convincingly as well. Like
yeah.
Actually, in some ways, TM did get better throughout the tournament in a way because in the end they did play the Diva against Raccoons, so they kind of like embodied some of like we need to change things up too. Like they didn't just like a hard force ram into like dive as well. So in a way they did learn to TM as well.
There's probably like an element of like when the teams start, the differences in terms of meta read. Like, I mean, EU has always played different heroes to like NA in Korea. And I feel like at some point, both when everybody meets, everybody kind of figures out what's actually the strongest, you know? And the more time everybody meets, the more time, like it's like JunkBuck was saying earlier, you know, like you can just watch a scrim against a team. And if you have good players and a good game understanding, you can copy a lot of what they do pretty quickly. You know, like it doesn't take like 2 weeks to learn or this style of Sojourn is good, or like this hero is good, or whatever. So I guess there's probably an element of like the more everybody just like sees everything and tests everything, then just like ultimately like player quality kind of comes out at the top, as it always does in Overwatch, you know.
Except Racoon this tournament, I think Racoon just didn't learn.
Yeah, I don't know. I thought in scrims they looked like they should have been pretty good, but yeah, I don't know.
I thought Racoon were like almost taking the piss, like they went to Blizzard World on the final map of their series and they played Winston instead of Wrecking Ball. Like, is that not insanity? Maybe I'm like missing something about the read on the meta overall. But it's like they rolled out on Wrecking Ball, Jumpman just like rolled into 5 and killed himself in the first 20 seconds, and then he's like, you know what, Winston for the rest of the map. Like, is that not insanity? Like, Blizzard World's a pretty good Wrecking Ball map.
My guess with what happened with Racoon is, my guess will be they were like super teched to beat other Korean teams. From how I was hearing from other Korean teams, it seemed like all the Korean teams were like actually scared to play Raccoons, so they had to be doing well against other Korean teams. But then like they were gonna like get shed on by like an EMEA team, and so I think they might have put too much egg in that basket, and yeah, I think
I think you're right. Like, if you look at the screen share right now, like the video that's being played, it's like Jumpman started on Wrecking Ball, Crazy Racoon, they're on map 5, they ban Lucio, and they're playing Chirong on Brig. It's like KSA has been playing Ram every single map that he possibly can, and Chirong is walking out of spawn on Brig on map 5. It's like, you must have such a fundamental misunderstanding of Twisted Minds' game plan to think that you're going to win the game on Brig on a map 5 is my feeling. Because I feel as if you're just throwing the game. Like you're playing to get walked on by their tank and do absolutely fucking nothing all the time. Just be a victim. They banned a hero that Chirong wants to play, and then they played the worst possible pick of all the supports in the entire pool. Like you'd be better off playing Mercy genuinely. So I really feel as if Crazy Racoon had like a fundamental misunderstanding of how to play against the comp more so than like a skill deficit.
Actually, that's why in a way our team was like tagged to play against the dive team more, and TM was tagged to play against the mirror ram more. And so going into Tony, like how our brackets look like was like, okay, TM is gonna kill Falcons on that side. We're gonna kill Racoon on our side, and we're gonna beat the grand finals. But fucking TM had to fucking lose to Sign Esports in the group stages, became second seed, came to our side. They ended up beating Racoon instead of us, and then we had to meet Falcons in the grand finals. I blame TM for the downfall of EMEA. Actually, they had to beat Falcons. Actually,
thank you, Yubi.
Okay, I've always wanted to know this, JunkBuck, so I'm going to ask you because the only person we've ever had on the show can answer this question. So not every single time, but I feel like sometimes when we come to these international events, sometimes the bans and picks, the Korean teams genuinely look like they haven't done a single bit of research on the white guys across for them. I think it was one of the VP games. Maybe it was like VP versus
Weibo
AG.
Map 5.
Yeah.
I swear it was Weibo Map 5 Midtown, I think.
That's not a Korean team, mate. You're painting with a very broad
brush. But anyway, like there was another one anyway, and they would just ban heroes which the players couldn't play because I felt like they didn't do the research. Can you tell me, do you think that the Korean teams coming into these tournaments like actually scout the non-Korean teams, or do you think some of them just only focus on Korean teams?
Actually, to be honest, I don't even if you say like Korean teams, I feel like I haven't worked with that many Koreans actually. I only work with 9K and Krusty basically in terms of like Korean coaches. I never worked with like Rush. I never worked with Moon or Kong. So I actually don't know what other teams do in bands and stuff actually.
Fuck, I'll ask someone else. We'll get Rush on the podcast next week.
Rush is going to have a lot to say about this.
Actually, Rush, what I understand about Rush is like he chose the bands in the scrims all the time. So I'm wondering like, when do you value test them? Like when do you like try to like figure stuff out if you never do it in scrim? You have to like you can do it for like some scrims or like half of the scrim or like some maps, but like he always does like whatever bands in scrim. So I don't know how Rush works. I don't know what
You're preaching to the choir here, okay? I think TM did the same thing when I was watching their scrims. I kept saying to them, I was like, I think we need to like what you were saying about like we need to test like the same banner, we need to work on the weaknesses. And it was like every scrim, if TM lost the map, okay, we're just going to pick our best map because we need to win the scrim.
That's TM.
And if they won the scrim, okay, guys, let's not give them any confidence. Let's pick our best map for the scrim. So every scrim for TM was just full try hard, like 100% locked in. And to be fair, I don't think TM lost. I don't think TM lost a single scrim in Korea actually, like a single scrim across 2 weeks. You know, I think maybe they drew to you guys once or twice or whatever, but they actually. But it was like sometimes I was like, fucking hell, it's like it's so nice. Like they didn't ban Sim again. Let's just keep playing it. But I'm like, this is not gonna happen, you know? You're not getting this situation. But I mean they made it work, so what do I know? You know?
Actually TM is probably the most try hard team in scrims. After they lose a map, they always go circuit.
Okay.
Always.
It's like, should we practice? Should we leave DPS ban open? Yeah, we'll leave it open. And then it comes down to it. No, we're protecting it. Okay.
TM is like a special kind of team. Actually, more I think like whenever I talk about TM, it's actually such an interesting team. In a way, it's like to me, it's almost like SSG last year, Weibo right now, or like London Spitfire. It's like they have like their strength. I would call it like the poison holy grail. It's like
live by the sword, die by the sword.
Yeah. So you have to do it. It's gonna give you the best result. You're not gonna do anything else, but you just have to, and so you have to embrace it. At a certain point, don't fix the problem, embrace the problem.
Yeah, I mean that's what we did in that second season on London. Like there was a point where it was like even if we keep our comp, there are so many better tanks than Ryan. But the second we don't pick Ryan, it's not even necessarily going to be Haddy. It's just everybody's just going to forget how to play Overwatch at the basic level. So this Sigma could be unbelievable right now, but the solution is Ryan. Like it's the only solution. We're going to have to figure that out.
Yeah, so Yubi's that kind of player. It's like it's both a curse and a blessing at the same time.
Yeah. Did you think that the sim ban, like Crazy Raccoon used the sim ban on a good ball map as well? Like they were on Atlas and they used the sim ban there. Is that like a piss take? Because I would have thought that, like, again, maybe Atlas is just like insane for sim because it's a flashpoint map and all flashpoints are insane for sim. But I would have thought that, like, if it's a good ball map, you just play ball into the sim as well because ball can kind of fuck up sim in its own right. Yeah.
So actually, initially, I used to do sim ban on flashpoints a lot too against TM, but at one point I kind of realized, okay, like I learned my lessons on like when to do sim ban and stuff against like TM and stuff. I mean, our team is more tricky because like our team is more limited in what we can play. So like you know, like the normal thing, what'll happen normally in Flashpoint is like we ban Sim, they ban Lucio, they played Juno Kiri, Tracer on that comp, and then like and so they're better at that comp than us. So we don't want to mirror that. So like we have to find a different way to do play that. So then we will have to do the bans differently rather than just like banning Sim first and then so that they ban Lucio, all this thing. So but what was that? Racoon doing it. So like initially, like how I would think most of the players would think, okay, Sim is like super annoying in this kind of like flashpoint kind of map. Just do it. I would think that's like the first impression they probably gotten doing a sim ban on Atlas or flashpoint. So I think that's why most of the teams are doing it. So I kind of understand because I made the same decision in the beginning to like just ban sim on flashpoint.
Yeah, I think especially if you're a team that can play like more divey stuff, I think it's good because you need to win 3 maps to win the series. So it's like if we can like pick 2 big maps and 1 sim ban, that's like the best way through TM, you know. Whereas I think if you use the sim ban on a big map, it's like you probably are gonna win that map, but then if they pick New Junk City and Sim's open, it's like it's so fucking hard to win that map unless like Sim is banned. So I think the Atlas sim ban was actually pretty good.
I just thought, like, for Atlas, watching it, it seemed like that is the most insane ball map ever. You know, like on all of the points except for the first, like ball looked incredibly broken. And it's like Blizzard World, like it's a good ball map, but like it doesn't have the same level of terrain as Atlas. You know, like Jumbin was just fucking dominating. Like I refuse to believe that Jumbin wouldn't dominate versus a sim as well on that map.
Yeah. No, we screamed against them in the Atlas against Ball, like the whole time, holy fuck, this is not a real hero. This is so fucking stupid.
It seemed just like, broken.
So we're just gonna ban Ball in Atlas actually.
Yeah, because then what you'd have to do is you'd have to pick Atlas and protect tank if you were Crazy Raccoon. That would like be like the only way. But then maybe there's like other like there's always like counter bans that affect the Ball comp too. But yeah, I don't know. I felt like it wasn't. I think some team, maybe it was T1, used it on map 1, which I think that's really scary because then TM no longer have to protect DPS for the rest of the series. But it was like that's what we were figuring out on TM. It was like we were like, where like it's always going to happen, but it's like where is the best place for it to happen? You know.
Actually, our team actually tried to bait sim ban on first maps a lot. We wanted the other teams to ban sim on first map too. Actually.
Yeah, because it just makes your life so much easier for the other 4 maps, you know.
Yeah.
But yeah, I guess we got kind of sidetracked. But I think the main one that I really want to know about is the grand finals, because it was actually kind of fucking sad, to be honest, because I really felt like the way the bracket worked, the team that was going to mirror you on RAM every map and stuff, I thought, oh, like this is like the script couldn't have gone better for an EU team to win the tournament.
I think Kellex said it as well, right? Like he said in the interview after the semi-final of like they asked him which team would he rather play, and he was like, I'd rather play Falcons.
Yeah, and then I don't know. I guess from the outside, there's like the first thing is, did you guys have to play the match against TM, which went to 6 maps, which is insane, and then you just had to stay in the arena for like 5 hours till the finals?
Yeah, we did. Yeah,
and you didn't get to play any Overwatch at all in that break?
Yeah, we just stayed in the player lounge the whole time.
Yeah, that's like so hard to get like back up again, you know?
Yeah. Actually, I had that similar experience in the last Overwatch League Grand Finals too. Like we played the first match and then we had to wait the whole time until the Grand Finals until Mayhem, and then it was like that delay is actually so tiring.
Yeah,
but like that Grand Finals was like we had to stay in like our locker room with the hockey player locker room Just like super uncomfortable and smelly. This time at least it was a player lounge, but then and I think the players were like still super tired, just sitting there the whole time.
Because then the other question that we have to, I don't know, do you watch the podcast, JunkBuck?
No, actually.
That's okay. That's okay. You're the only one who doesn't. Okay, just you.
Okay.
But on the podcast, we've come up with this new theory. Okay, it's called stake theory. It's never been seen before, and the idea is basically the higher the stakes in terms of how important the match is, it changes, right? And like Falcons, if the stakes are at the highest, those players really know how to win. It felt watching it that even if Falcons were better or you guys were better, it feels that the occasion maybe like affected it, you know, like they were really ready to win because it was like grand finals, whereas you guys maybe, I don't know, nervous or tired or weren't up for it. Do you think that if you'd played not in the grand finals in a better, like, basically what I'm asking is, do you think you guys underperformed or do you think Falcons are just that much better than you?
I do think we underperformed, and then like what you said about the stake, the Falcons guys did play really well when the stakes are high. So especially this map in Esperanza, the last 3 fights, like the Falcons did like clutch it out. They were like they like a proper, they like a boop on the window TP and things like that. Like they
beat, I think,
they had like 3 like really hard fights to win, and then they like just won 3 in a row. So I think they like, so when I think the tendency, I guess that could be like one of our players, like a weakness on this tournament that showed was like when the fight seemed like not winnable, they kind of like go into the fight kind of this is so hard to win kind of thing, rather than thinking like, okay, we have to like force a win, we have to find a crack, the Koreans call it crack play, right? So I think the Falcons guys were like looking for crack plays in the last 3 fights. Like, okay, the only way I can win is like get this like boop on the TP and then like and get this like random as variable fight. Whereas like our guys were like last 3 fights when I see it, it's like they were playing to not lose kind of thing. They didn't look for like any variable. So like you can even see like Zia coming back on Diva last fight, even if he had like enough time to come back on Ram or whatever. It's like they were just like playing to just drag out, not lose, not be my fault kind of feeling almost.
There was probably like chances as well, just to have like, you had like 2 or 3 fights, you know. So like I think the first fight you have, you like invest all the ults, you know, you take a huge ult trade and it goes really badly, or actually you could have just like taken a fight, maybe invest 1. And then just come back with big ult advantage for last one.
Yeah. We could have like different ult planning, everything. There's like so many things that could have happened differently in the last 3 fights, but just everything went wrong.
Did it feel after this map that it was just done? Because that's how it felt watching it, was that like you guys should have won this map and then they make this unbelievable clutch. And then the last 2 maps, it just was like, it's like they look kind of defeated. Did you feel that if you didn't, once you'd thrown map 2 away, that it was just really tough to win from then?
Wait, what was the third map? I already forgot. I erased my memory after I lose. Oh, it's New Junk City. What did we play and what did they play? I already forgot.
It'll come up in a second.
I just erased my memory. Actually, whenever like I get knocked out of a tournament, I never watch the grand finals too. If I'm not in grand finals. It's like I'm a sore loser. Like I can't look at Twitter. I just can't look at Falcons players being happy. It's like I'm a sore loser. Okay, so
look at
it was full mirror this one.
Okay. Fuck, how did I not remember anything? What happened in this map?
You lost, mate.
So I guess okay, the score being 1-1, maybe so the guys was like still trying hard, maybe. Like maybe they didn't like get like depressed. Maybe it wasn't something like it got depressed seeing or whatever. Maybe then.
Is this where Merit really started going? Like I feel like maybe it was the last 2 maps. Merit was just like incredible form. You like pick every fight type thing.
Actually, holy shit! The New Junk City got like erased from my memory. I don't remember anything.
It's your first time you're seeing it.
Actually, like, holy shit! What happened? Holy shit! I really erased this from my memory.
If I remember, this point was like insane dogfight so many times, like really could have gone either way. And then the last point, I think the last point was kind of just like Merit gap.
Oh, okay. I remember some stuff about this map actually. Okay, so the sim mirror, the how the sim mirror goes is like okay, the Falcons has like this like a play style where like they just leave the ramp just like it's like I use like different words for it. But it's like a bait ramp style where like just they just have the ramp play by himself like live long as possible, and then the rest of the people just do whatever kind of play style, and then that's like it's a really bad matchup for us, our team actually. We're like super only ram mirror matchup our team was tech for is against TM. Because like so like we play to like hold shadow on the front line. So that's like the way we play against TM, and that's like the best results we get against the TM. But then like against Falcons is like a really really bad matchup. Like what was it? Our whole team is gonna try to shed on the front line, and so usually in this case it's Ram because their sim doesn't play with the Ram. So then like someone like her baits, the whole rest of the team is so free. They have all the space, and then like and then whenever but then like if also like someone can get like a huge clip on our whole team, it's like such a bad matchup. So this is like where it got fucked. Like this is where like we were. It's like in a way like okay, this is we're fucked in this matchup if there's like the matchup looks like this, and then so we try to circuit one more time to where like okay they have to play our play style, but then I think it didn't work even worse in circuit, and it was GG's play then I think. Yeah, it was a very very bad matchup. The TM had to play them, man. Why are we playing Falcons? Fuck. TM had to be on the other side of the bracket and already knocked them out in the semis.
It's funny too because TM ended up playing T1 and it looked pretty comfortable. So it's like if TM didn't actually lose that first best of 3, they would have actually been fine, you know. But sometimes you got to lose to win, you know.
Yeah. We're just a bad matchup against Falcons. I think looking back, I don't know what I don't know what we could have done differently. Actually, it was just a really like we had to like change our whole preparation, and that's like unlikely that will happen. So what do you
just
do?
Gabby then.
Yeah. It was just the bracket gap. Bracket gap actually.
next time you'll get them.
Yeah, next time just be on the different bracket actually.
Yeah.
We'll be if actually I guess actually I don't know. Actually, yeah, there's no way we could have avoided the Falcons in the bracket. The Falcons had to be second, or the team had to be first. Yeah.
Did you guys play VP first as well? You did, right? It was VP into TM.
Yeah, we're like all we're just shitting on EMEA.
Dominate EMEA again.
And then when you played in China, did you play any Korean teams then, or what?
No, we lost the Falcons in China. We lost the Falcons and the VP.
Okay. So actually, every tournament you end up playing all the EU teams every time.
Just Falcons every time. Falcons and EMEA every time.
You're so unlucky with the brackets. What can you do?
Yeah.
We should talk about other teams, but I do think it's I mean, we spoke a lot hyping EMEA up, and I think honestly, it's so. If I feel like it's one of those where you're actually never going to get a better meta and a better patch for it than this, you know. Like it really was absolutely perfect, and the teams did well, but it's like fuck. Like if we still are 4-0'd by the Koreans in the finals, it looks so hard that next patch is going to be better, you know. Like it's so hard for me to cope that in Stockholm.
Just need a venture nerf. Just a venture nerf. Nothing else changes.
Yeah,
and then we're okay.
I mean, as long as it's some sort of rush comp, maybe EMEA might be fine actually.
No, I thought that. I think it's only if rush and sim are viable. I think that's it. I think Sim's
and the map pool has to help. The map pool has to help
true.
too.
It's so fucked because the map pool was so good for rush too. So yeah, I don't know. I mean, at least you guys went really far. You know, it was actually quite weird because I feel like almost every Western team at this tournament is probably is okay with their performance. You know, like no one underperformed from the West. You know.
Yeah, that's true actually. Yeah, even BP, like people probably thought BP was not gonna get out of the groups, and they did.
No, yeah, 100%.
Wait, before we move on too much as well, first map of Grand Final, is that the comp you always play on Night Market? Or was that like a surprise
okay.
for the Grand Final?
So the thing is, so we really wanted to play that against TM. We really wanted to play the Farah against TM, and so in a way, it's kind of like the ghost of the past kind of thing. Like, oh, we'll never get a chance to play this unless it's now. So even if we lose his first map, if we're gonna take a risk, it's gonna be the first map anyway. So but actually looking back, I felt confident against TM, but then maybe I actually didn't feel confident playing it against the Falcons, because the comp actually didn't work against T1 when T1 was just playing Tracer Soldier, and so actually I didn't want to. But then it was gonna work against TM for sure, because UB's never gonna swap off the Tracer. So when the players suggested, I didn't say anything because I didn't want to kill their confidence playing it, and then but as a good coach, I should have just told them, no, we're not playing that. But no, I pussied out. I just okay, we can try.
And then all the momentum's gone, and then it's 0-4.
No, but then for my team, I specifically told the guys losing first map, it's okay. Especially if you cheese and then lose, it's no damage to anyone. It's oh, it's okay. If it was gonna happen, it was gonna happen on the first map.
Yeah, I think it was like we said earlier, it's the Esperanza was the one that maybe felt more like a killer.
Yeah, that's the map where that's the damaging map.
Should we talk a little bit about the flip side then? Because I don't think too many people had Falcons winning this tournament. Because it felt like maybe the teams who scrimmed them thought they were quite strong, but I think expectations in this tournament is maybe they win their group, but they wouldn't get loads further. They'd lose in semis or something to someone I think people expected Weekend and T1, Weekend and Crazy Racoon, and struggle into EMEA as well. So
I think the Falcons. So I think that's probably because Falcons was doing bad leading up to the tournament, right? But then as Chris said earlier too, scrim doesn't matter in the end. It's so this is what I do, what I'm trying to achieve with the team too. You want to peak right before the tournament. You don't want to peak during the scrim. You don't want to win the scrim. If anything, it's I feel bad winning the scrim and going to tournament, because if you win the scrim, you're not gonna change anything. But then if you lost, you're gonna change. So you're only getting better going to the tournament if you're winning, losing scrims. But then if you're winning, you can't change anything. It's kind of becomes like us. We're gonna get stuck with our playstyle. That's how we've been winning. There's nobody feels confident enough to change all of a sudden during the tournament. So it's actually good to lose during scrims, and then you peak right before, you figure out what you want to do right before the tournament. And so Falcons, they were getting better throughout the tournament. So I think they figured out right then what they wanted to do in the tournament. So that's so I think a lot of people get early scrim results too. Though in the big, when the teams just start scrimming, people talk among each other oh yeah, who's winning the scrims? This team is dog shit or whatever. But that's when the scrim results mean the least, in the beginning actually.
Yeah, I think you're totally right. By the way, last season, there was twice. I think one was in stage 4 and one was in some other time. We lost in winners finals against Ents. And then we won the grand finals quite convincingly. And in both times, because we lost, we then were in a situation where we would VOD review and we would just tweak one or two things. We would change our neutral a little bit. We would change this. And then actually all of a sudden we were a much better team. Whereas there's no way, if you win the scrim or you win the match, you're never going to say, unless you're a super genius, you're never going to change. You're not going to be actually, even though our neutral's working, we need to change it again. And actually you're kind of in this situation where it's really difficult, I think, as the team that can't change a winning formula versus the team that lost and gets to change things. So I actually think you're 100% right. If you win the last scrim against the team before you play, it's really bad because they're going to review everything and fix everything and you can't fix anything.
Yeah. Even last year when we won the grand finals in Falcons too, we didn't win a single scrim actually going into the tourney. Like we were like getting shit on, and then there was like one point where we lost to Toronto, like our very last scrim before the tournament. We lost to Toronto, and then like we had to like sit down. Okay, guys, like we really have to fix this shit now because we're getting shit on by Toronto. So yeah, we like for me that's like I always tell that to the players like it's actually good to lose in scrims. You get to like actually change and get better.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of examples. I think we maybe said it before on the podcast, but the Atlanta Reign Season 6 one is the classic, where the last 2 scrims we played against them, they smashed us. So we had to change. We changed so much about how we like would play to try and like work around it. And then by the time we actually play them again, they've not seen any of the changes we make. And they are just, they think that in their head, they think they've got it solved and are not worried. And then they find out the hard way.
Yeah.
It feels like as well, all the players, like there was always so much attention on Falcons for someone a merit signing. It feels like all of that has been put to bed now with this result as well. Like Merit has insane grand final, someone consistently good through the tournament, proper back in the lineup, like tournament MVP.
Yeah, there's no way they changed the roster like who's playing now. Like if they change it again, then there's I don't know what's going on in that team if they change it again. But yeah, this is the obvious. This has to be the one they're staying with, right?
How do you feel though if you're sitting at home and your name is Stalker and you're watching this run? Like how do you know? Like
feel so bad.
Yeah,
you gotta feel so bad.
Happy for your team, but they've really quite literally done it without you. So it feels
it must feel like super terrible for Stalker right now because like Stalker is like not even. It's like a good player. Like it's like super good, but I do think the player the Falcons need right now is probably Proper just because of the calls he makes. Like he has like the what's it the metaphor I would use is like the prop like Stalker would be like the in a video game it would be like the strongest sword. It'll be like the strongest sword you can wield, but then the Proper is the one who can control it really well. So Proper does like most of the calls in the team for Falcons. So you really need to have Proper like a micro like telling the team all the macro stuff. It's kind of like what Checkmate did for our team as well. Like the macroing people is like super important. So that's why Proper and Stalker worked really well together. So I think the other piece can be anyone. It can be Stalker. It can be Merit. I guess they can use Stalker again if it's like a double flex DPS meta. Then they can just do that again. So yeah, I guess in the end, maybe they can change things up. Even Hanbin, I guess, they can change to Hanbin, but probably out. But actually, with the tank, maybe they stick with someone as long as possible. Maybe because
was it? I think the semi-final Hanbin played maybe 1 map, 2 maps.
Yeah, and Circuit. So yeah. I think that one so actually the Circuit was Falcons probably the worst map. They lost like whenever they play Circuit, they lose everything. Like against us 2 in scrims, I think every match, every team's picking Circuit against them. I think their like worst map is Circuit. So I think Hanbin coming in was like they're like whatever. Let's shake it up, change things. Let's see what happens. And they ended up working. They just play Zarya with the Ramban, and then it'll work out for them. And so it worked out for them there. So I think they made a good adaptation to like, okay, we're gonna lose the map no matter what with someone in. Let's gamble with Hanbin, and then it worked out for them in semis.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy when you look at it now, and they're only 1 major behind Crazy Racoon now. It's 2 for Falcons and 3 for Crazy Racoon, even though it feels like Crazy Racoon have felt like the dominant team for longer. There's only 1 tournament between them now.
Yeah. They're the rivalry. They're the TM and Al Qadsiah of Korea.
That's what they
That's
call
the gold
them.
standard right there, the TM Al Qad, isn't
it? What do we think? Because I guess Crazy Racoon is the big one, right? Crazy Racoon seemed to really not expect to be losing to TM. I don't know if everyone saw Moon's tweet afterwards, but he said if it happens again, he's going to step down. It's unacceptable, you know.
He did I kill myself.
He did the JunkBuck.
Yeah. See, when you do it before the match, it's fun. You know, it's high stakes. When you do it after the match, it's just kind of sad, and you're worried it might happen.
I'll try to do one before our podcast. And I'll try to think of one. Clickbait again. I'll try to think of one.
We need, I don't know. It feels like Crazy Racoon really didn't expect it to go this badly. But I also kind of get the impression that they must have known, right? Because they have all these scrims and they're having all these close games or losses to the EMEA teams. So they must take Twisted Mind seriously by this point, you know?
To be honest, I think they kind of like what was it? I think maybe they were thinking about the player name value, like in the tournament that we can't lose kind of thing. Maybe they had that kind of confidence, but from the scrims, I think they did like respect like the sim comps a lot though. Because at one point, like they tried in the scrims, they tried mirroring the Ram sim as well, and then they tried their own variation with the ball sim. They actually tried a lot of different variations. So I think they did. Or was it respect the comp and then the team? But I think just the team name value, maybe they just was not respecting. So maybe that's why he was saying something like that, or maybe just come from the like the to like satisfy the community's like what's the word, like expectation,
like fan expectation.
Yeah. Just to appease them a little bit of the loss. To show how serious they are, maybe he want to express that.
Yeah, I feel a lot of people are like really like. I feel like they're like overshitting on Crazy Racoons. Like it's a single limb tournament. It was a map 5. Like I think most people agree. There's probably a lot of teams that like rest in the tournament they could have beaten. You know, like if they played Falcons, like Crazy Racoon could have won it. You know, and I feel like there's like how we've got the spin doctor in the bottom left, and he's like he always hates on Max. But I feel like, well, by the way, your spin doctor is insane. You killed Jackie and Flora today. But anyway,
the 2-for-1 was actually outrageous. No,
yeah, I mean, you got actually mad respect for that. But it does feel like throughout the tournament, even against non-TM teams, I don't know, there's a worry that they just are so much weaker with Max in, and it's either they just can't play that style or whatever it was. Because even against GK, the max maps, like, and you just try against Crazy Racoon, I think you just try to pick as many max maps as possible. And in this tournament, in this format, maybe that was like enough to punish them.
I think the reason why I made the maxes weaker is because like I heard I'm not in their team, so I don't know like exactly, but it seems like Junbin is like the really really important shot caller. Like he's the one, like he's like the proper of the CR. Like he macros everyone. So I think that's why like they're a lot stronger with Junbin and but weaker with Max. Plus Max mechanically probably has no issues.
I guess in general, they're also always weaker at the sort of comps they play when Max is in. Like, regardless of Max individually, they're always a bit worse at those comps, like when they lose, was it Stockholm, like the Malgameta, it's like, because that was with jumping in for most of it as well, it's like they're just not as strong at these comps as teams like Falcons.
Stalker was just sticking in poor little Heesang's ass though.
Oh yeah,
to be fair, like that was a huge difference right there.
I mean,
like,
I think in
some of these metas, like proper Genji and Heesang Genji as well, like they get the same thing, right? Like sometimes Heesang's just getting like outrageously diffed by one of proper or Stalker, and that feels like the difference maker more than anything else.
Yeah, I felt in this one it was Quartz. Like Quartz had an outrageous tournament, but especially that Crazy Racoon series, like he was doing so much, Like it's kind of rare to see Lip on the receiving end, but it was like the same thing that Merit did to you guys in the final, where it's just like one of those, the hit scan diff is so significant on the day where it's just like that's really hard. Even if I have better ults, if he's just getting a pick at the start of every fight, there's almost nothing you can do, It felt like Quartz was. Even to be honest, even in the first couple of maps in your series, Quartz was so good for it. Like his level was insane this tournament.
Yeah, the hit scan inconsistency, like how much the hit scan affect the games recently. It's like actually it is like insane actually. Like I think that's why that's the only reason why Sign beat TM, right? Like a Chronic was like went insane on head scan. Like holy I never saw him. I never seen this guy before. But like when I was like during the match, I would tell the team like, hey, his face looks like a good player. He has this like he almost reminds me of this like European ice cold guys who lives in the
Number
woods,
theory.
never talks to anyone. He just looks that kind of player. Like holy.
Looks very focused. Looks like he's not saying a damn thing and he's killing everyone at the same time. You know, like this ideal hit scan player just shuts the fuck up and kills everyone.
Yeah, that was a hit scan. The how much hit scans being able to like affect the games, that's been like very big actually.
I think especially with a Quartz versus like Crazy Racoon, because Crazy Racoon would try and play these different comps where maybe they play like a Farah Sojourn or something a bit slower, and Quartz would be like the only person who could properly shoot back, but he would just win these duels. Like he would just take these duels and he'd just win them. And how many fights to start with Quartz kills for Farah or Quartz kills for Sojourn beforehand, or even when they try and play Tracer and Quartz just kills one of the flankers before the fight even starts. And it's like it's so hard to play when this keeps happening.
Yeah. I think it was the Colo against Crazy Racoon, but it was just absurd. Like they didn't even use an ult and they already had 100 meters just because Quartz was just like every fight was just like pre-fight pickling everyone.
Was that the full push one?
I'm sure it was this series, but it was like I'm sure Quartz was like they win the first fight and then Quartz just rolls in and picks someone for like 3 fights in a row, and it's just like there's no way to win, you know.
Actually, Cassidy is like low key, kind of like underrated right now. I think Cassidy is like super strong actually right now. So I think Cassidy is like the only reason why the dive was not good at this meta.
Yeah.
I mean, there's like a lot of different factors too, but like you know, Diva and Sam, all these things are good. But then like if he had to play with Sojourn or Freya, then I don't think the Sim would have been the meta actually. So and then Cassidy is like surprising good against the Freya too. This like what was it? It's like maybe a hot take, but Cassidy is actually good against Freya too.
Yeah,
I think especially
and it has
with
so
the
much
sim
synergy
comps
too.
as well.
Yeah, like with the TP High Noon.
Well, yeah, because Quartz High Noon value was insane. Like compared to anything else, it's always value. And even a lot of these jewels, you know, if you can just TP Quartz somewhere he can take the jewel, like suddenly he's at like what do you call like max damage range, you know, like no fall off. And he's just winning them. It's so hard, I think, for like Freya especially, anything really. Distracted just watching the game now.
Yeah.
Wish we would have been the ones playing this right now. Our team. It should have been us.
Here's one for you. Do you think it's going to be really hard for me to convince JunkBuck of this, but Twisted Minds had a better tournament than Al Qadsiah?
Oh, because they beat Racoon, or
they beat like the 2 top Korean teams, and they were like obviously super close with you. Or there's like an what do you call it? Like an asterisk or a caveat next to the T1 victory.
So you know how I say like Scrim, like context is most important. Tournament context doesn't mean shit. The result is the only. 2 years later, nobody knows who plays what. Just that's all. Like in the result, the tournament is just about the results. That's how I see it. So that's why I have no excuse about like, oh, we should have won this, we should have done that. You know what? If the other team won, the other team won. There's like no excuse about it. The result is done. So we got better results than TM. So the context wise, they did play really well, but what was it? The result is result for the tourney.
You're right. You're kind of right. Like in like who's going to remember? Like it'll just be Al Qad second and TM third, and no one will remember the detail.
Yeah.
How worried were you though when you go Nat Blizzard World in the overtime when you have to play for the draw? How was the comms? How was the team? Because it's like insane pressure moment. Tournament on the line, have to hold.
I think when right after they capped, I think the guys were like kind of sighing, but at the moment they realized they only have to hold 1 minute, then I think the guys became okay again actually. So not too bad, I guess.
Yeah, I feel like it was that one scary moment where Yubi goes top, and then all of a sudden Yubi, there's like no one's with Yubi all of a sudden, and then it's suddenly Yubi who's caught rather than Yubi who's winning the game.
I bet TM are so mad that they had to face you guys too, you know? Because I feel like it's always fucking you guys at the end of every tournament, and then you always beat them, you know? Like TM will probably be so mad watching you lose in the grand final because they would have been like, okay, we would have won, you know? Like these fuckers, it should have been us. They'll say the same thing.
No, but then actually, I saw Yubi after the tourney, and then like he seemed like a very what was it? I don't know what the word is, right word, but like almost grateful or like a like it was like he. I think it was like a like a we had fun in the tourney. Like what happened is happened. I think it was kind of like that kind of mode. Like I think he seemed fine actually, if anything.
I saw him like an hour after the game, and he said, "Yeah, no, we should have beaten them because we would have beaten those fucking Falcons." So I don't know about that.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think it's kind of what Chris said earlier, right? Where it's like, especially for the Western teams, Twisted Minds can still be pretty happy with this, you know? Like, they narrowly lose semi-final, they beat 2 of the top teams. Like, maybe all the Western teams can look at this and take, like, a lot of positives from it.
So actually, okay, I'll give TM this. Like, I think TM probably had a better chance of beating Falcons than us, just because of the matchup. And then, for me, to be honest, I actually thought they were gonna lose to Racoon. So so how I saw it is like we had a better chance of beating Raccoons, and then they had a better chance of beating Falcons. But then, in the end, they just TM also adopted against Raccoons, and but then Raccoons, I think they like shit themselves in the like how they picked bands and stuff too. So I actually think like there's no way Raccoon was like throwing this hard, but then in the end the TM did win, but then like I feel like from our team's perspective, it was like Raccoon should have gotten shaded on for like how like stupid the bans and everything was actually. Like how they prepared like it didn't seem good at all. Like they should have lost even worse. But so I think if they had they prepared better, I think they could have beaten TM at the least.
And then lose to you.
Yeah, and then but yeah, I think I'll give TM that. I think they did have a better chance, I guess, beating Falcons than us. I'll give them that.
The only team we've not talked about in this top 4 is T1, who had a bit of a weird tournament where it felt like because of Sign's result, they kind of had easy games. Like they beat Sign 2-0, then they beat Team Liquid, and then before they know it, they've lost to Team Falcons and they're out of it. Because I think a lot of us expected, I think maybe we need to erase that now, but if you go to the episode we did before Esports World Cup, a lot of us, I think, put T1 winning the tournament. But it feels like they didn't actually get any big results against like any of the other, like if you put like Al Qad, Falcons, TM, Crazy Racoon, maybe these are the top teams in the tournament. They didn't beat a single one of those.
Actually, going into the tournament, I didn't think too much about T1 because for us to meet T1 basically meant like they had to beat like Falcons and TM and all these teams. So like there's no way we're meeting T1 anyway. So I didn't think too much of it. But in scrims they were strong. But then maybe they're like typical just scrim team. Maybe they're just a scrim team.
Stake theory, maybe the stakes.
Are stake theory.
It's what happened in playoffs, though. They look insane in stage 2 in regular season. Then when it comes to playoffs, Crazy Racoon just win anyway. Yeah,
and then I think like a lot of how they prepare is also inconsistent. Maybe there's like an inconsistency factor too. Like how I talked about like how like Rush just does whatever bans in the scrims. The players, their team just plays random as shit like every single scrim. Like they're playing ball today, Doom tomorrow. Just like Orisa maybe here and there. Like they're just like random as thing like every single time. I feel like even their players don't know what they'll be playing because they don't know what will get banned. So I think that has to be in the factor to like just inconsistency. They don't know like how they'll do actually.
Listen, Rush, he doesn't get involved with the nitty gritty, okay? He doesn't care about the bans and the comps. Just go out and play good Overwatch. That's all he says, Just play good Overwatch on the day. Yeah. I did feel it's funny because you mentioned that like Circuit Royale was like Falcons' worst map, but I remember at the time I was so mad at T1 for picking Circuit against Falcons because I don't know, it feels like you've got a dive tank and your biggest advantage is that like Falcons' biggest weakness this tournament was like similar to, I guess, to like to EU teams where they really didn't like want to touch dive at all, I felt this whole tournament no one picked Gibraltar except teams against you specifically, and I just can't think that like there must be a way to force like a monkey mirror against someone or something on Gibraltar, which is just I know. Okay, maybe circuit, maybe the scrims say that Falcons are way worse than we figured out, but it just feels like such a worse matchup for T1 to take the ground tank versus the ground tank, rather than find ways to play like the dive tank. You know?
Hey, maybe they didn't know what they're gonna do too. So, so they
Rush
choose
just spins the wheel.
they choose a map where they know what Falcons is gonna do, but not what they're gonna do.
Yeah, I mean, I think they must be disappointed because the bracket opened up quite nicely for them. They didn't drop a map until this Falcons game. I thought they were going to win the tournament on semi-finals day. I felt that they looked the best. I think they had the most flexibility. And then, I don't know, I guess the only thing that we can say, like, we thought that Donghak ball comp was going to be a bigger problem for the teams than it ended up being. Because even when they did play it on map 4 against Falcons, they got shit on. Even when they did play it against TM, it didn't work. So maybe the meta was just in a way that even though these comps don't look like this is what T1 should be favored on, maybe there really wasn't much of an option for the top teams once you got to like top 4.
Or maybe the too much flexibility is what they got them. Like they had no confidence in anything. So one of the things our players talk about was like now that it's over, our players actually really don't like playing against Doom. They think like a Doom is like the best counter to the sim comp, but nobody plays in this tournament except Weibo tried it in a couple of scrims, but we shed on them, so they never touch it again. We shed on T1 one time, and then T1 never touches it. But so I always have to gaslight the players, telling them like Doom is so bad, guys. Like D.Va shits on Doom. Like D.Va is just gonna ship into Doom, and what's Doom gonna do? And then like, but then they're like, but I guess the people who's playing it is like it's different from their perspective, because like, oh, but then Doom can like always fuck us up so easily, and so there's always that fear behind the player's mind about the Doom against the sim comp, but people just don't. And I think the T1, maybe they just don't have confidence. Like if they truly had confidence, maybe like in anything they do, maybe they would like really play like well. But maybe that's why they didn't play Gibraltar too. Maybe they're too much. Oh, we're flexible enough to play this like rush on circuit. It's like just fucking play your dive, man. Like what the fuck are you doing? Just you're a dive team. Just at least be like Falcons. I mean Racoon, and at least go to map 5. Just do what you're good at.
I mean, they were the only team that could play dive in the top 4. And I felt like across their games, they just didn't fucking touch it. Like, I felt Gibraltar, I was so shocked how few teams picked it, you know? Like, I mean, I know, like, most teams, if they got, like, TM, first pick, okay, we're going circuit right away, you know? And quite a few teams did that because it just kills escort and makes you play brawl. But, I don't know, I felt with T1 especially, there was, like, they would almost be the most disappointed with the tournament, except maybe Crazy Racoon. Because it's the same thing. Like once Crazy Racoon get knocked out in that first game on the quarterfinals, every other team must be thinking, "Fuck! Like this is as winnable as this could be." You know?
Yeah. Maybe T1 and Falcons like only worrying about Racoon, but then Racoon. So I guess in a way, Racoon was the unlucky one. They got stuck with our side of the bracket. So Racoon was the unlucky one. They wanted to be on the other side of the bracket too. Maybe you know, looking back. Racoon, like if they wanted a better result in the tournament, maybe they should have threw a game against Liquid, be second seed, and then be on the other side of the bracket.
They almost Max on map 5.
So actually, when I was watching the game, I was actually thinking maybe they're doing this on purpose so that they go on the other side of the bracket. And that would have been a smart move. I think like if I was Racoon, I would like suggest that to the players actually. Like let's just fucking throw this map so that we be second seed and go to the other side and bracket and then shed on these other Koreans.
That's too scary, surely. You sacrifice it to have like T1 in your first game of single elim.
I mean, I feel like other Koreans are more scared of them though.
That's true. It's true. T1 would be so mad if they win their group without dropping a map and they have to play Crazy Racoons. They'd be so tilted.
Yeah. I think Racoons Racoons are only scared of our team or like the sim teams. I feel like they probably had no issue against the other Korean teams. So that's hindsight. That's what they should have done actually.
Should we hit a few of the other teams? Because I think America probably had a much more underwhelming LAN in terms of like big results, but I think actually decent performances. I think especially Geekay. I guess they can sort of do the same thing. I think maybe it was Kufri tweeted it afterwards. Went to 5 maps with both grand finalists. So really, and yeah, honestly, especially Falcons versus Geekay, that Blizzard world. Fuck, I felt it was so on for Geekay to win that series. Actually, I thought.
Hey, it's a context that nobody will remember 2 years later.
Yeah,
It's true.
They're just like any team who got shat on in the group, like round of 8.
Just 58th done.
I mean, in terms of the draft, it felt like that map 5 from GK was like one of the most hair pulling out ones possible. You know, I think we were, maybe all of us were on the broadcast for it, but it like this mirror, it just can't have been like what we're saving our bans in map 5 for.
I remember
you know?
this map.
When
I was watching it, I was so pissed. Like, why the fuck are you not playing Weaver? Like,
I thought they'd go Midtown, Bap Weaver. Like, Bap Weaver were both unbannable, right? Like, they'd already used both, I think, or maybe Support Protect was just free, one of the two. And instead, they go to Tracer Mirror. Like, Venture was open, Midtown was open, Weaver was open. And they decided to go for none of the above.
Used.
So when they attacked first, right? So like on attack, they didn't play Weaver. So okay. So I guess the Weaver is the defense strat. So okay. So even if you don't push a lot, you guys can forward on Weaver. And then like on defense, they roll out fucking Lucio. That pissed me off so much. What the fuck are you doing? Why did you even choose this map then? Like,
I mean, yeah, when we were watching it, it was the exact same. It's like they won map 1 because Maimon had like the most ungodly Venture performance in human history. Like just clutch after clutch.
That clutch, oh, God.
Insane. And then they win, what is it? They win Circuit playing Bap Weaver, right? Like that's their other map win.
Yeah, Admiral has like the best Weaver map you've ever seen in your life. Yeah.
So it's like, okay, we have 2 like heroes where we're not mirroring proper on Tracer, which just seems like a fucking given. And we can protect what we want. They can't ban anything. We've got maps where we've played this stuff in the past, and then it's just a Lucio Bap Tracer mirror, and it's so. I mean, okay, maybe the Hazard should beat the Ram on this map, but it's like it clearly wasn't.
That's the other thing that pissed me off. Like, why the fuck are you playing Hazard if you're not gonna play Weaver too? Like. When I was watching it, because they want to play Weaver, also that's why they chose this map to play Hazard. It's a good Hazard map. Is that why they chose this? Okay, understandable. And then, but then they never fucking do it. It's like, why the fuck are you playing this Tracer Hazard mirror into a fucking Ram? It pissed me off so much. Actually, because looking at this, like because Geekay went to map 5, I really do think like Falcons would have done like other teams would have been a better matchup than our team actually. Just like other teams playing like random ass, like other kinds of comp, then it would have been better actually.
Think about this: if GK do this, Falcons are out, and you win the tournament, mate.
Actually,
it's their fault. It's their fault.
Holy shit!
I mean, this was genuinely like the worst throw of all time, right? Like you watch the way the Cuff is playing the Hazard as well, and it's like,
begging for
geez,
a grip.
if he just had a Weaver right now, like he always has when he plays like this would be fucking ace. Like he'd just be getting in, forcing everybody to peel, and then Ollie would be gripping him back to freedom, and they'd have them up. But instead, Riley's just pissing the series away.
They suddenly play an honest Overwatch. You're never an honest team. Just fucking cheese, man. Like you're not an honest team. Only Falcons, Racoon, those kind of teams get to be honest. You're not an honest Overwatch.
No, you're right. But it's like you said, at the end of the day, this one will haunt them. But it was like it was still fine, Like I don't think they exceeded expectations, but they also didn't fall below. And I feel like a few of the NA teams lost games we expected them to lose, but they put up really good fights in them. Which it doesn't make you feel too much better, but feel like this wasn't a tournament where the NA teams were favored meta-wise at all. So for them to do as well as they did, I don't think anyone's going to be too mad,
Yeah. Actually, and I think, before coming to the tournament, I did thought like NA was just like dog shit teams or region, but I think they're actually good. I think they're actually fine. They're not that bad.
Yeah, I think like my expectations for North America went down the more I heard from the boot camps. Like I was expecting them to do worse, but then actually when it came to the tournament, but like them and Liquid, even Sign, did better.
Liquid took Crazy Racoon to 5.
Yeah, like Team Liquid's, as much as like Team Liquid always had a really hard bracket, like have to have Crazy Racoon in the group and then probably have to play T1 or TM first game. Actually, the Crazy Racoon series, really impressive. I mean, T1 may be a little bit disappointing. Like T1, it just felt outclassed. So maybe Team Liquid cannot be like, they're not going to be buzzing about it. But I think they'll hold on to those five maps against Crazy Racoon, really.
Actually, it kind of feels that the more we talk about like, oh, they had a close series as Map 5, it actually, if I was the other that team, I'll be like so sad. It would make me more depressing. Fuck, it doesn't. Like, it's like in the end, those Map 5s really doesn't matter. It's like if it was a Scrim, yeah, it means a little bit more. But the Tony Map 5 and you lost, it's like fuck. It's like for me at the end of the day, it's the same thing as 0-3. It's like you lost.
Yeah, I mean it's true.
At the end of the day.
I feel Liquid, there's like an element of this series where like neither team had like the stakes weren't that big, and it's like they had to win 3 maps on their map picks and all of this. It's like there's an element of it's like it was always going to be hard for Liquid, even though they nearly came back. But it's the GK one, because the GK one, it was like, I don't know, it felt like it was there. They were right there. They had a pick. They had a unique, a non-honest solution. That's the one where I would just be like, my feeling is it was a player decision. I'd love to know what the thought process was, but my feeling, because I think if you go to the start of that GK map, I swear that in spawn they're on back Weaver, and then they scout the comp, and some like look here they're on it, right?
They were.
But you also play Weaver to scout on this map too, right? Because you do the fucking So I don't know. There was part of me which just thought like they saw a comp and they thought like because 2 people, I don't know, maybe they're just cheesing with like Weaver, Widow, and Spawn. So I don't fucking know.
Maybe they pussy it up.
Yeah.
Like, that happens super often. That's why you have, if you're gonna like gamble or cheese, it's gonna be first map, but like nothing's at stake. Like no, everybody wants to play like the safest possible comp that don't lose the game. So maybe that's what happened to them in the map 5. They pussied out.
Gabby.
But they should like that's how you got to this point. You have to like embrace it. You gotta drink that poison grail.
Yeah.
I think Ollie was the one that pussied out in that clip. Like he swapped on and off Weaver like more than once. Like he gripped Dennis back into spawn. He swapped to Lucio. He swapped back to Weaver, and then he swaps again.
This is the moment.
Lucio, he's back in spawn. He goes Weaver. They've got back Weaver, and he's like, you know what? I'll tell you what. Fuck it. This map 5, you can have it. You can have it.
Yeah. This stole the title from JunkBuck right here. This moment.
you should be heated right now, JunkBuck. This was your moment right here.
Actually, Geekay, the more I think about it right now, I think maybe how people are like looking bad. You guys are saying how people are looking bad at NA teams. We don't know because I didn't scrim NA teams that much, only Liquid, in the bootcamp. But maybe the NA teams, like especially Geekay, maybe they are like me, where like they don't care about the scrim results. They're like just value testing all the time, so they get shit on the scrims, and then like so they figure out what to do in the match. So maybe they always like have it figured out for the match day, and then just get shot on in the scrims, and then they just see it as like a way to prepare. So maybe Geekay is like actually a good team. They just like value test all the time in scrims.
Yeah, I mean this team beat Crazy Racoon last tournament. Did like pretty good here. Like it seems hard to argue that they're not good.
They
just should have picked Weaver, mate. Should have just picked Weaver, eh? Or just gone Midtown. Like if Blizzard Will's too hard, you could have picked a different map. Surely
what's the theory against Midtown? Like what were they scared of from Falcons that had them not wanting to play Midtown? Because I really thought that like everything about Midtown was just right for them.
Maybe they just think it's like just really, really strong RAM map.
Yeah.
And someone's just gonna go beast mode by standing around blocking. Like it's just gonna fucking curtains.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. To be fair, I feel like Falcons comp isn't good on Blizzard World there, but it's like, yeah, but if you're just taking the mirror, then it doesn't matter what fucking comp you're on, like, it's just the mirror. So I don't know.
Oh, they played it against CC as well, Midtown. And they just
what did they play?
Lucio.
Maybe there was no more Weaver strats. Maybe they'd like given up on it apart from on Circuit.
Maybe it's.
But even then, I don't know. Maybe there's like if there's no Weaver, there has to be like the most venturable map or something. Like it just. Will was
they didn't even
on
do
a
it on
heater.
Either. Yeah,
a heater on the venture map 1, like sort of carry versus Falcons. Just. But what do we know? What do we know?
Yeah.
Another team that joined the sort of moon club of mental breakdown after a bad result at the major was Weibo. after not getting out of a group of death. Super close games, right? Was it 2 map 5s? They came out the wrong end of both times. And then it feels like all the players are quite upset, I think. I remember, well, I can't remember where I saw it, but it was like there was a Reddit thread of a translation of Shy's stream where he was just playing like deathmatch at 3 a.m. in silence. And all he said is, "I apologize to everyone at the end of the stream." I was like, "Oh dear, this isn't going well, is it?" So I don't know. Go on.
I actually thought Weibo was gonna do bad, actually, because like how much like how like bad their scrim was against us. So that was like one thing. I was actually surprised that they just gave up dive completely. They only played Ram and Orisa, right, in the actual matches. So I think they're like
Winston, but yeah.
Okay. So I think their like confidence level probably went down a lot because like to the point where like they gave up completely on the dive and then only played in a very, very special case now. But then maybe their expectation was maybe they still thought, oh, we have to at least beat VP. So maybe that's where the depression kicked in. It's like, oh, we should have beaten them at the least kind of thing then maybe.
Yeah. But I just want to say, this is the map. You were right. It wasn't a Korean team, it was Weibo. But this attack was the most poorly researched attack of the fucking tournament. VP always play Sigma Bapalari on this map. It's their signature thing. It's their unique selling point. It's their version of non-honest like mirrors. And fucking Weibo
defend
just
Orisa right now.
Bap Orisa and just attacked and just it was so bad. Like they didn't prep a single counter comp, like nothing. It was just walk into on Weibo's attack, just walk in on a full counter comp against VP what they want to play. And I looked at it, I got the feeling, I was reading the body language, it was like this team didn't know VP were going to do this, you know? Like it was just like they just didn't watch EU OWCS, you know? And that's it. They just rocked up and thought it was going to be another mirror. Because I swear what they're playing is so bad into what VP are like holding with, you know?
You can even see it with like the sim ban, right? Like it just feels like, what were you expecting here, you know?
Yeah.
And like, because it's VP, the only time they play sim is when they really have to, or when they can put ice in on Circuit Royale, you know? Like it's really not a hero for them. So it just felt like they had no clue what to expect in this map 5.
Yeah, like the Sigma will be a million times more valuable ban, or even like the Farah, or like any of the heroes that isn't support, you know? Because they always play this comp, you know? And this is sometimes I see it where it's like the bans, because I know EU so well, sometimes I see the bans and I'm like, there's no way you fucking watch this shit, you know? Even though you're getting paid to do it.
Yeah.
And that's why the coach got fired, I suppose.
Oh, shit.
It can happen.
Wait, who's the coach? Who's Weibo's coach?
It was YXL, but he's been shot in the streets, I think.
It's a shame though, because it's what JunkBuck says about like context and tournaments doesn't matter. Because I feel like there's such a good context for Weibo to like, it wasn't that bad, you know? Like the meta in the map pool, if there was one team that was fucked, it was Weibo. Like them. This was like, they everything was against them. They were put into the group of death despite being first seed. Like an insane group to have to come out of. The map pool fucks them, the patch fucks them, everything fucks them, and they played only ground tanks the whole time, and they still took Falcons to 5, and they still took like VP to 5. And it's it's so close to actually being a really successful tournament, but you go out in groups and it doesn't matter. By the way,
and they threw the comps on map 5 as well.
Yeah,
you know, like there's so many.
Exactly. It's like Weibo was another team that I didn't understand why they weren't just picking Gibraltar like more. Like surely if there's a team that can make it work through bans for one map, surely I don't know. But
so why I think a lot of dive teams don't play dive maps like Jeb is because like if you ban one of the Winston or Anna, then the map already favors the sim team at that point. Actually, that's how I kind of see it.
Yeah, but okay, against you guys, it's true, but against like VP or Falcons, I don't think these teams were going to play sim on Jib, you know?
Yeah.
And maybe
those
they were.
Teams, maybe against. Yeah, actually.
Like VP, surely, like especially if you can pick it, right? Like pick it, ban Diva or whatever. Like Ice is going to come in and he's going to like play the Hazard or the Winston, but you're just going to get some sort of like, I don't know. It felt from the outside looking in like. I understand you can't dive your way through this tournament. maybe we just get one map, like the same thing, like just one signature map where we figure out like a specific ban. And I don't know what the ban is. Like, I guess it's probably D.Va, but it just has to be better than just fully dying on the tank sword. I don't know. Because all they needed was one map in both series. I can't remember how the drafts went, so maybe it wasn't possible. But
no,
you just needed one map, you know?
Because Weibo lost first map against VP, then picked Esperanza as their map. And then we went to Circuit Royale afterwards when VP could pick it and put ice in.
Actually, Lucio, Kiri, Winston, Sojourn, Tracer, we're so confident to beat VP on Jib there. VP would be shitting themselves.
They beat VP on Esperanza playing Winston, Kiri, Lucio into like Hazard, Kiri, Lucio in the match the day before, like for first to 3. So there's literally super recent experience of it working against this team. It's really possible, I think.
Yeah.
The Winston versus Hazard mirror, they should have taken it every single time, actually.
Yeah.
Well, they only took it once and they won it, you know?
Maybe because I remember in the first map, doesn't Goucher swap from Winston to mirror the Hazard on the first map and they lose?
Which one, on the Oasis?
On Oasis, yeah, they do. Yeah.
So maybe from within their team, maybe they think just Hazard is a better dive hero than Winston in the mirror. Maybe that's how they think of the tier. So that's why maybe they didn't want to try it that much.
Yeah, I don't know if maybe it just threw their confidence in it or something, like in the Hazard Kiri Lucio mirror. Because in theory, that was what I was kind of expecting Weibo to try and force all the time if they could, you know? If they could just play the whole tournament on that type of comp.
Fuck it. Go Gibraltar, ban Hazard. What
was nice to play D.Va or something.
Yeah,
okay. Vest comes in.
That would have been good, actually. That would have been the play.
Because if you see Ice in, you ban Hazard. If you see Vest in, you ban D.Va. And then either way, you've got Winston. There's no way that, like, there has to be just and you deny Circuit, which is so important if you're a dive team, you know?
Yeah. That would have been the play. That should have been the play, actually. Yeah. Actually, our team wanted to play Weibo more than VP. Well, at least me. I did. I think our guys wanted to play VP more. Because because the players think about the player's name value. So Weibo does have a higher name value
there.
Yeah, but I actually wanted to play the dive teams a lot more. But in the end, they didn't play dive anyways. So maybe we might have had a hard time against them too. Then who knows?
Yeah, I think it will be like forgotten. But I think you're right. And actually, in many ways, this isn't like the worst result for Weibo going forward. Like, they kind of showed that they were competitive on these, like, ground tank comps. And then as soon as Winston's viable again, and the map pool's slightly better, everything's going to look a lot more possible for them, you know, in terms of higher tournament finish.
Actually, to be honest, they should have drank their poison holy grail. They should have just forced the Winston no matter what. Just fucking lose on it, at least. Go to May 5 and lose.
Yeah, maybe. But they really could have won. Like, the Falcons series too, they really could have fucking won that. Like, some of those maps were so close.
We're kind of we're actually coming to the same conclusion on every team, aren't we? It's just a classic poison holy grail theory where Geekay should have just played for Weaver.
Somebody's got to teach the word chalice to this entire stream. Like, poison chalice is going to go fucking crazy for everyone.
Yeah, chalice.
That's so much more poison chalice. That's why we got you on the show, you know.
The wordsmith.
He spun it, you know. He spun it.
It's just like it's like Junk gets an excuse, you know. But like when Zav says poison holy grail, it's like come on,
you got to follow his lead, you know. It's his theory. JunkBuck made the theory. We don't choose the name, you know. You can't change Steak Theory once that's like made. That's it.
Steak Theory was Lights Are Too Bright 6 months ago, and you're just fucking rebranding it right now.
These are completely different things, Max.
So right. Steak Theory is like almost 100% right. Bright Lights Theory was wrong every time. Like, how can they be the same? It's basic science. And the funny thing is, JunkBuck doesn't watch the show, so he actually has no fucking
idea what to
why the fuck are these idiots talking about lights and steaks?
Can see why these guys don't have jobs anymore. That's what JunkBuck's thinking.
Should we go VP then? Because I guess they were maybe, in a way, the happiest. Well, maybe not the happiest, but they were pretty happy with it, considering the situation.
They went in with they went in with like but because I think their boot camp went really badly. So by the time the tournament starts, I think their expectations are really low. Like boot camp's not gone well, Scrims not gone well, and we're in Group A. So when stuff starts going their way, it's actually like, yeah, way above expectations. This result for VP.
One thing I think Smash might disagree with me is like I think they should have just chosen the answer and then go with it. So I think by the time towards the end, I think they almost found the answer. I think they should have just played Ram Tracer the whole time. They should have just played the Ram Tracer the whole time. But I think what could have happened to them, I don't know exactly what happened to them internally within the team. But like maybe they tried the Sim team because they face against the Sim, so they want to be that Sim EMEA team, but then they got shut on by the Korean teams. So then they tried to be the team that tried to beat the Sim with Adventure, but then they still had a hard time against them. And so they tried different people like Ice on Sim and all these different things. But at the end of the day, I think maybe they just had a best result just playing in Vestola Ram, JU Tracer, just and then find the variation of that. Just make that work. That as your foundation. Then maybe I think they could have just found a better answer with the players feeling more confident playing it. Because what was it? It seemed, yeah. I think the like Jay would have been more comfortable on Tracer from like how Smash was telling me as well. So I think if they have done that, just like found but they basically got shot on the Scrims, but in a way that was their value test. They figured out what they want to do right before the tourney, so maybe that's why they were able to beat Weibo and all this team. So maybe yeah. So maybe that's why they kind of overperformed.
In many ways, they probably almost like when they saw how the bracket was going to work out and that they were going to play you guys in the first round. I think actually the Sim was their big weakness. They didn't want to see any other EMEA team, but when they play Weibo and they can just play both teams play Tracer, or even probably some of the NA teams, they would have got the same matchup. They probably would have preferred Nose. I think in many ways, even though their group was so tough, the comp matchups were probably nicer for VP in that group than maybe some others.
Yeah.
I mean, go on. Sorry.
Oh no.
Yeah, they had it tough too because they had to solve for like a dive team, a brawl team, and then if they even solved those, they had to solve a sim team. Like they actually had to go through like their bracket was so fucking tough. So I don't know. I see what you're saying, but they almost did. Like my feeling is that Ram Tracer really struggles versus the sim. Like I feel like
I mean they're not gonna be sim with it. They just have to beat other teams with it.
Yeah, and I guess in a way they kind of did, right? Like they beat AGG, they beat Weibo. Like they did realistically probably better than they expected. Listen, at the end of the day, anytime you go to a tournament, you beat a Korean team, then like you gotta be happy about that, So yeah.
Really good tournaments as well, I think, for like Ice especially. Looked really impressive in some of those matches. I think Shockwave actually had felt like the best we've seen Shockwave play in a while in like all these big games, like consistently doing better, like got the better of Shy for sure in that Weibo matchup. Like one of his most impressive tournament runs in a while, I think.
Yeah. I think VP did well. I think in the end their preparation was like the most tricky one to prepare, and I think they prepare well. I think Smash and all the guys, the players, they try to find like what works for them, and then I think I would say they did well in the tourney, to be honest.
One team it's going to be really hard to say played well in this tourney is AGG, who didn't win a map in the tournament. Came in, what was it, third seed in the end from Korea. They had all these results throughout the year where they can beat Crazy Racoon, they beat Falcons, they beat T1 on a time, and then they come into this and they just get smashed. And they get smashed by Falcons first, so you can sort of, maybe you excuse it, because it's Falcons. But then VP smash them as well. So not a single map for this team at the tournament. Feels like kind of insane in many ways, but I don't know if this team's like AGG, this is for me. I always feel like they're so up and down. And this meta is also really bad for them, I think, too. Like, I think really bad for Lee Soo-min, really bad for some of their tanks.
Actually, for our team, when we scrimmed them, like they were like the first Korean team we scrimmed, we actually lost our very first scrim against them, like 2-3. And so so I got super mad at the team, and then we had to do like all this long feedback about like how we play against Venture. So our team actually became playing against Venture a lot because of after screaming them. So maybe maybe in a way maybe they were super tech to beat the Ram sim team.
No,
maybe
no.
that's what they were.
Because
they did against better.
Yeah, in TM scrims, they scrimmed them for 3 maps, absolutely fucked AGG, and then there was an argument about who was to pick the map, so it just got called early GGs because no one would they refused. You have to pick the map, and then TM were like, no, you have to pick the map, and then they said, okay, if you don't pick a map, GGs, and then they said, okay, GGs, and that was it. But they were like, when we scrimmed them, it was like really weak. Like actually the easiest, those 3 maps were like easier than anything that happened that week. So maybe they just got boomed as the week went on.
I see.
I think maybe we need to start to have a conversation about, I think we need to give Korea less slots at these tournaments, you know? I think we're all talking about how good the Korean scene is and how strong the depth is. But both EWCs, we give the Koreans a 4th seed, and that 4th seed is absolute fucking dog shit, okay? Fnatic last season, even though they beat me, fucking lucky, they were so bad, okay? Like everyone else destroyed them. AGG couldn't even win a map. I think we should just give the 4th seed to EU or NA, you know? Like I think there's both. If TU were at this tournament, TU would have took a map, you know? We all know this to be true. Like this is just, everybody knows that. TU, when the stakes are high, that's when they perform the best, you know.
Stake theory team,
Not to bog you down with the nitty gritty of this all, but Falcons were actually the 4th team from Korea to qualify for the event.
Oh, that is true.
No, they were the first team from the LCQ because they it's different, you know. But then, okay, you just honestly, if the 3rd team is this shit, then we should only give them 2 spots. I agree with you, X, assuming that's what you're saying. We're on the same page. Take 2 spots away from Korea after this disgusting performance.
Yeah, seems fair. You're right. You've convinced me here, and we'll take their spots away. Maybe even down to just 1.
Zeta must be so mad too watching it because I feel like Zeta would have put up a better fight, you know? Like Zeta, I mean, honestly, it's such a shame. Like Zeta are so unlucky in a way.
Zeta were cooked. That LCQ performance, they were so cooked.
No, but they were against
the
fucking Jafonso award winners. Like,
but they were still wank. You know?
Oh, okay.
Like they were just playing they were just playing Hazard, Venture, Tracer, and getting.
You had to see what the skip was doing, man. Like there was no fucking hope for that team. Genuinely.
That was his last game for them, wasn't it? Going down playing Tracer into Falcons. That was
yes, it was the ultimate respect moment, really. Just all of the marbles on the line, final match of his career for the Zeta division, and he's like, you know what? Fuck it. 2 out of 3 maps for this final series. I'm on Tracer versus Proper.
It does Proper does seem to get so many Tracer mirrors in situations it doesn't feel like you should get them, you know?
Just nonsense. Really.
Yeah.
We should hit a couple of the other teams as well. I feel we sort of glazed over Sign a bit. I know it feels like their win over TM very much got the crazy Racoon treatment like Nightmares did at the Hangzhou Major, where it was all sort of a race the next day when TM came out and very keen to push to their spawn at every opportunity. But I think there's probably still a couple of highlights here. Like I think Chronic proved there was all these questions of best in North America, but on Freya, what about versus he's in Quartz and Proud's group? What happens then? I think the answer was actually an overwhelming, yeah, he's good for it. So I think even though it wasn't maybe just one good result for Sign, I think Chronic really he looked the part.
Yeah, I mean, I think especially in the Frio loss, Chronic still was consistently doing bits and bobs on more than just Freya. You know, that was another one that people said was is he just a Freya guy? But actually, on Soji looked insane. His Widow was absolutely fucking insane on the last map too.
Yeah, so Shambali, yeah.
Yeah, seems like Max was right about this kid from day one.
This guy's buying more spin. You hear that? He's fucking swallowed it, hook, line, and sinker. Unbelievable. When you're chucked in the web, mate, just you wait.
I am. Think about it, I am. First he sung, you know, you spin him, I buy him, you know.
You know who actually... I wasn't expecting it because I feel like I've never seen Rocket play Venture before, but especially that first game, Rocket was actually pretty great on the Venture as well. So I was sort of impressed by that.
Yeah, to be fair, in the first game, like almost everyone on Sign outplayed their like opposition number. You know, like there was actually like good performances, from everyone. But there's like one of those things, isn't it, where it's like if you win, like it's really easy to look better than the person that you're beating. But then if you do like Chronic did, where you like stand out while losing, that's a real respect moment, you know.
We should hit as well, and this is so VARREL obviously got the first major result in these sort of international regional tournaments for a Japanese team. They managed to beat ROC Esports, which I think nobody really had on the cards. Obviously, there's a huge caveat that on map 4, when 2-1 up, ROC Esports did sub in Jinmu to play flex support, which maybe threw a spanner in ROC Esports' plans to win. But as we've established already, no one's going to remember that in a year. All we're going to remember is VARREL got the first major win for Japan at one of these tournaments.
Why did they do it? I didn't even know they did it.
it's. I can only presume they were like, yeah, and these guys are shit. Let's give Jinmu his pity map, you know? Like, Jinmu's not been playing any of the other ones. Go on, Jinmu, get in there. Play a bit of Kiriko, why don't you?
That's insane at 2-1, by the way. If it's 2-0, then maybe it's okay to take the piss. But at 2-1, to make the assumption that the opponents can't win is actually insane.
I respect it, to be honest.
Yeah.
Actually, I didn't know this happened. Actually,
yeah. In many ways, it's actually nicer for the story if we all just agree not to talk about it and just give VARREL the credit. It's like, if anything, ROC Esports probably prefer that as well. Of just, they were just so good on the day, you know. But
actually, the CC also had the super rich come in. They just suddenly changed the roster for the match. Right?
I thought they were egoing with that, but I'm pretty sure that this was actually like a case of Super Rich being like, this wasn't like an ego thing of like one old man getting his last ride. It was actually like, you know what, that other guy, like he's a fucking mute or something. So we're getting me back in and I'm just going to talk my team to victory. Like that was the philosophy there. It was actually like the old ego coach being like, fuck it. You know what? I'm going to show you how it's really done, youngin.
I was thinking, was the coach, I want some of that prize ball too, so I'm going to sub myself for the prize ball too.
I mean, that's like an unpaid team pretty much, so actually that could be a totally reasonable approach, you know. Super Rich just wanted to get a little piece of the pie.
If I play more maps, I get the prize money. It's just for rules. Sorry, buddy. On the bench you go.
Rules are rules.
I don't know if there's too much else to really talk about with ROC Esports and CC. ROC Esports had probably a horrendous... ROC Esports are just cursed. You think when they had, like last year, when they had Checkmate and Izzyaki, was it? Just hopeless. Absolutely shit team. And then whatever they seem to touch just turns to shit. So just think twice before signing a contract with ROC. We talked about... Poison Chalice or Poison Holy Grail. There's nothing holy about this Grail. It's just a cup of poison. Don't go near it. Team CC, kind of, a bit all for that. Like they did take Geekay to 5 maps, which is kind of weird. Because in many ways, Geekay took the 2 grand finalists to 5 maps, and CC took Geekay to 5 maps. Maybe Geekay just can never get it done.
No,
I think Geekay were pretty unhappy with that result, even though they won, pretty unhappy that it took them 5.
Wait, was that a loser bracket game? Was that an elimination game? Or
It was an elimination. It was an elimination game,
fuck.
and it goes like 1-1 or 1-1, 2-2, and then eventually 3-2.
Because I was gonna say, I no longer like in double elim, I no longer like put any weight in the first result. I purely stake theory pilled. Unless your life's on the line, no. But if there was stakes, then I can't. It doesn't work. Must be the lights were too bright situation,
I mean,
fake theory. That's what that is.
What this is like, and we've sort of talked about them all as we've gone through, but every game was a fucking dogfight.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know the actual numbers, but it felt like the most map 5s we've had in ages at a major tournament. The most map 5s between different regions as well. So it just felt like in general, the entire tournament, the parity between all regions felt like the closest it's ever been at a major event.
Do you think it was the best tournament ever?
Yes.
I think so.
I think the grand finals, like JunkBuck specifically, is if there was a case for this not being the best tournament ever, it's all JunkBuck's fault. Because genuinely, like, it was so fucking good right up until JunkBuck got involved in that grand final and just pissed it all away. You really did just have to whip your fucking knob out on stage and give it away at the 11th hour. Like, unreal, mate.
I kind of
because it was so class.
Unfortunately.
That's right. We'll do even better next time.
Yeah, because I think there's a few things that people discussed, right? Like there's like the question is like, is the West closing on Korea? And it's like, yeah, maybe. Like, I think there's maybe the patch really helps, like the EMEA teams especially. But to be fair, Liquid still took Crazy Racoon to 5, and GK took Falcons to 5. So it feels like those results, even last year, like those teams like us or Toronto weren't really getting those results, like taking them all the way. And the other thing, like a lot of people hated the singular limb format, but am I the only one who really liked it?
I actually don't mind the single limb. I
think as a spectator, it's really fun. Like, I understand we get these sort of weird, you get these things where it's like, wow, are Crazy Racoon technically the 5th to 8th team, or should they be 4th, or should they be 3rd, or whatever? But there's also a bit of me that's like, kind of who cares to a degree. At the end of the day, the winner is like the most important thing. The best team will still win, still have to beat everyone.
Okay, maybe double limb will give you a higher chance of closer finals.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe, yeah. But it's
But
also,
like,
I think it would have been.
Yeah, I guess. But it's like, no, it's not like you guys had an easy like run to finals, you know? It's just like you could have like Crazy Racoons weren't like, you know, last EWC where Crazy Racoons knocked out Falcons in like the round of 8 and then played Toronto in the finals. But everybody was kind of aware Falcons would have beaten everybody else on the planet at that tournament. It's just the way the brackets worked, and because they decided to lose to Weibo again. And it's like, I feel like with this one, I have a really hard time believing that like Crazy Racoon were actually like the second best team at this tournament, and they were like robbed. Do you know what I mean?
No, yeah.
Because
Racoon was not gonna win another match.
I think like the big argument against it, as in against single limb, is because this tournament was so good and there was such great parity. Would you not have just liked to have seen more games between a lot of these teams? You know, would you have not enjoyed all of that? But I also think that's one is like these arguments that involve, we just have to pretend we have infinite time and infinite like match slots just don't work. You know, like, oh, would you like to see more top level Overwatch? Of course. But what can I do? Lock the players just in a gulag for a month and make them play every day? Is that the ideal? Like, you know, like we only have so many days and you need to give the players like respectful breaks and not just like a billion games in a row. So I think given like the, 4 days and the group stage, 16 teams, I don't know if I'm like too unhappy with the format. Like people's argument about the LCQ could have been something a bit more interesting or cooler, I think is fair enough. But in terms of the actual Esports World Cup itself, I was really happy with the format. And actually, the AB stream on the first 2 days was actually mega. Like, I know we sort of ended up missing some of the close games, but I think overall, it meant you skipped some of the dog shit games more often. Like, it did more good than it did bad in terms of the games you got to avoid.
Did you just like not watch any of the B stream and they all just got shoved right into our face? Is that what you mean by that, or?
No, as in like, because obviously there's 2 games happening at the same time, so it just meant even if there were 2 shit games, if we just watched every game, I'd have to sit through like 2 Zocorp games this round. You
could just tab out every time Zocorp was on the screen.
It's just a better game on the other channel, you know. So I just flick over, and there's something to watch. Like obviously there was that time where which game was it? Like Liquid take Crazy Racoon to map 5 at the same time. VP and Weibo go to map 5, and it's like a proper fuck. I need to watch both of these right now. But that's also kind of exciting as well in the moment, you know. So it's like. And that's the only one where the clash felt really like I can't choose which to watch. But overall, I was thinking like the AB setup actually helped cut through a lot of the rubbish that happens when you have 16 teams. Yeah,
I feel like the only problem with the format, and maybe it's one of those things that can't be solved, is I mean, it's not a nice thing to say, but I'm not known for being a nice guy. I just think we invite too many shit teams. That's the problem, you know? Like, I think in almost every group, there was probably one team where if you just took like the next best like European, American, Korean team, and like every game is just so exciting, you know. Like there was a certain amount of like, I remember, I guess it was the second day, right? Like that first round of elimination games in each group, it was just like, who gives a fuck, you know? Like neither of teams are getting out of group. Like if you look at like, it was like team, like your group, right? You had like Geekay, and it was like, it felt pretty much inevitable. You knew which teams were going to get out of the groups, you know, and it felt like groups B, C, and D. It was like it felt like that. But in terms of the single elim, yeah, I feel like the moment where TM beat Crazy Racoon is more significant than when Nightmare beat Crazy Racoon, because when Nightmare beat them, you were kind of aware you've beat them, but they're not out yet, you know? So there was like this immediate realization. I was like, fuck, are you going to be able to do it again tomorrow? Whereas in that map 5, you know, when TM knock out Crazy Racoon, that's it. It's just, they're out, you know, like
they're gone. Yeah.
Yeah. And I think that moment becomes way more significant. Beating a Korean team or an upset is so much more meaningful in single elim rather than, fuck, these guys are still going to come back and probably win anyway. Even if it does mean that it does more fairness at the top, if that's what we say.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like it's because people always treat us as like, you know, our team's got lucky, etc., right? And they'll use the Hangzhou Major as that example, right? A Crazy Racoon, you know, you can make all the bad day. I think, to be fair, even like Geekay have referred to it themselves as the result seemed like a bit of a fluke, you know, given how it happened afterwards. Maybe they've disproven some of it at this event, but anyway, they do one result, then they get smashed the next day, and everyone goes, "Oh, kind of fluke," right? Same as Twisted Minds versus Sign, because obviously, if it was single elim in groups, Twisted Minds is just gone on day one or something silly, you know. So I do feel like I don't mind. Like I feel like you should have some version of double elim or some sort of second chance to find your feet up LAN. But I think having that happen in the group stage, and then once we get to the single elim, the top 8 or whatever it is, then fuck it. It's super high stakes, you know? Like, if you want to be the best team, you want to be the champion, you have to win when the stakes are high. So, raise the stakes, you know? I mean, I would have liked, to be fair, if it was best of 7 or playoffs or something. That would have been, like, a small change I would have made. But...
yeah.
And that we maybe could have done in the time as well, you know? Like, it was only 4 games each day, so we maybe could have done it.
But, yeah. Good tournament.
Yeah, it was sick except for the finals, to be honest. Cheers, JunkBuck.
Unfortunate.
Happens. And if we could just do away with Zocorp, like you said, there were like a bunch of teams that we could get rid of to make it more exciting. I think at the end of the day, like Gatto's Guapos were just completely fucking dog shit boring. But last year, that same slot managed to go 5 with Twisted and like almost upset the whole group. So like it's kind of hard to like cut that slot away when that same sort of core team actually managed to go 5 with like a top tier contending team.
No bias there.
And then no, genuinely. But then like VARREL,
some kind of
VARREL also went to 5 with who did they go to 5 with? Someone vaguely human
ROC?
at this tournament.
What do you mean?
Right?
Yeah, ROC Esports in this one.
And it's like at some point you just wind up like cutting all of the newbie teams, and it's like if you replaced ROC, like a team with Belos Ria on it, with 4th place North America, would you actually be doing much in terms of improving the quality of play at the tournament? I don't really think so.
So you need to get 5, 6, 4 from EU.
You just need not EU. Let's not get Magazine in there. Let's just get Korea. You know, we needed Finn on that stage at the end of the day. If Finn and the Skip were on that stage, then Finn and Yaki would have a job right now. So honestly, I think that we should just push for 4, 5, 6, and potentially even seed 7 of Korea. We need Ru Jae Hong up on that stage for Cold Ocean as well. But yeah, not so cool.
Really hard to justify. This is now their South America's second event in a row where they failed to win a map. So it is starting to feel harder and harder to justify.
I don't mind having them in the group. I kind of want to have some easy games here and there.
All right. Well, if JunkBuck needs an easy game to get the team ready, then I guess that's fine. That's fine, Ben. Any more thoughts on the Esports World Cup? Anything we haven't touched on?
I feel like good, aren't we?
I was gonna say, I feel like the fanfare was quite good. Like in terms of the key crushing, all of this felt like there was a good that felt like it had like a bit more meaning than it did last year. I don't know if it's just because it's the second time or because they do it on the stage in front of everyone. felt like there was a bit more between the players as well. Enjoyed ChrisTFer. The choking across the stage after like one map, I enjoyed that, like
before choking map 5. Gotta respect that actually.
Yeah, unfortunately, it was actually a premonition for themselves of what was going to happen. But I guess one thing that I guess people took issue with at times, I don't know if this is kind of just like a classic vocal minority on social media type thing, but people were complaining about the losers interviews. But I actually thought all the loser interviews and the concept, I think, really good. I know it's tough, players, coaches, but also the losers interview isn't for the players and the teams or for the broadcast. It's for the fans, And I think there was lots of nice moments where like Rocket would say thank you to like all of the fans and everything. ChrisTFer came out and couldn't stop swearing, bless him. But he was saying thank you for all the fans and the support and the help at the boot camp and stuff. So I think that's what these loser interviews are there for. And in reality, like everyone does it. So I thought a lot of the complaints about that were unjustified. And actually the losers interview, I think they handled really well on the broadcast in terms of like the right tone. And I think the players all did well in it as well. The only thing I'll say is they shouldn't boo the losers interviews. Like, I'm fine with all the booing, but once they've been eliminated, look, they're dead, You don't need to boo them anymore once they're dead. It's just, like, polite round of applause for competing, Like, you don't need to boo them once they're already out. Like, you can cut it out. To be fair, I think the crowd did get a little bit... They softened up through the tournament there and were a bit lighter on people as we went through.
Agreed.
Actually, I didn't even know there was a losers interview, actually.
Did you guys have... I guess you guys didn't have to do one? Oh,
no, maybe we did. Maybe we did. I just didn't know.
Who did?
Because like something Lander might have done, maybe.
Did you do an interview after the grand final?
I know the players did go to do their interviews, but I don't know I don't know who did it right after our match actually.
Because I guess after yours, they did the whole like Falcons and proper and stuff going to pick the keys and stuff. Magic going to pick the keys,
So maybe our team didn't have to do one because we were just in the last match.
Yeah, maybe you got away with it. I'm trying to think. I guess Proper got MVP for the tournament. Everyone in agreement that's reasonable, or does anyone have any sort of counter pitches for player of the tournament?
I think Proper.
Yeah, I think towards the end it's Merit, but actually across the whole
like
thing,
grand
Proper
finals,
was,
I think Merit, but tournament Proper, I could really get behind.
He's always good for that as the grand finals MVP for Merit. Like he is, he's a very stakey player, isn't he?
He's possibly the stakiest player there ever was, as far as I'm concerned. I mean, Gumby used to tell me back in the day that, if there was enough money on the line, Merit would play like a god, and then he proceeds to win the Overwatch League, screaming down the mic, just clutching up beyond belief. And I thought, you know what, it's luck, right? Gumby doesn't know what he's talking about. And then, suddenly lightning strikes twice when you put the guy in another grand final, and he's just absolutely ascended to the fucking heavens for a 4-0.
It was insane.
It always happens against JunkBuck as well.
Oh my god.
He hates me. He hates me so much.
Something in Merit's soul just sets on fire when he gets on that grand final stage and he sees JunkBuck standing behind the other team and he's like, not today,
Could not have him win. Find a way to make him miserable. That was the stake that he had to do.
The biggest stake, your unhappiness.
All right. Should we talk a little bit? How are we doing for time? I know other people have plans. Are we all right?
No, we're fine.
Okay, all right.
I'm off to play tennis.
Because they announced the format for stage 3 of the Stockholm, maybe in particular. I maybe haven't got the link handy for you, Alpha, so I'll put you on the spot to try and find it. But the TLDR is Stockholm is going to be bigger. And there were some whispers of this for a while, but we're going to have a 12-team tournament, and maybe even more exciting, we talked about length of, how many games can you play? You need a certain number of days. Also going to be a 5-day tournament. A 5-day tournament as well, with I think 2 days of group in a studio. So basically no crowd, no audience, but still played on stage. And then 3 days playoffs or 3 days like the finals, kind of like we had last year. So more teams, more days of action, longer event. Feels like all incredibly positive news.
I think it feels at least like a World Finals, which is like, I felt last year like Stockholm was billed as a World Finals, but actually in reality, everyone knew like EWC was the big one, and it didn't, like, Stockholm didn't feel any bigger than Dallas, you know, like it didn't. Whereas I think this year, I think more teams is good. Feels like they're gonna do something interesting with the format too, right? Because they added 2 extra days of play. So is it 5 days of play?
5 days total, 2 in the studio, which presumably is going to be some kind of group stage. And this could mean we could potentially do like a 2-day group stage, maybe an A and B stream like we did at the Esports World Cup, and then even do a double elim bracket or something on the Friday, Saturday, Sunday, because we have that extra day. Because Esports World Cup was only 4 days, this is a day longer.
So how would you do it? Like 4 groups of 3? How are you going to... I don't know, actually. It's a little bit tough with 12 teams, right? To get 2 days out of groups?
Or you would do 3 groups of 4, and then it's really messy, isn't it?
Make them all best of 5. Yeah. I mean, like, the Wednesday doesn't necessarily have to be a long day, right? Like, they could just do like 3 games a day or something. I don't know. But it feels hard to believe that there won't be more games of Overwatch if they've added extra 2 days here, you know? Feels like...
And as such, all the spots have got slightly bigger as well. So they've done guaranteed 2 for the 4 major regions, guaranteed spot for Japan/Pacific. So they'll have to play off against each other for it, but there's 1 guaranteed spot. And then these 3 remaining spots were done based on how the regions did at the Esports World Cup, which means obviously out of the regions, it's China who did the worst out of the 4 regions in terms of finish, and therefore end up missing out on the 3rd slot, meaning only 2 spots in China, which means that ROC CC game that CC have won every time so far this year is going to be huge over in China for that chance to actually get to the third LAN. But yeah, whatever they do, there's like, it feels like there's just multiple good options here for them. So really hard to complain. All right, nice and easy. It's easy when it's just good news, actually.
Yeah, I feel like there's
I think it's a bad thing. I think we should have less teams and less days. I'm just going to say it.
Finally, someone said it. I've been thinking that all along.
So
I know we're all feeling it. I know we want to toe the party line, and we want to say more teams is better, more days is better. We get a longer competition. We get Dungle Elim. We get more teams to get to qualify. Now, fuck it. I want 4 teams at the World Finals, and I want all 4 of them to be Korean. I want AG to get another shot at the chip in a triple Elim bracket to see whether they can take them out, if that's at all possible. But
you know, you probably don't know the sport snooker, right? Do you know the sport snooker? Like the big
of
game
course
of pools? Okay. But in like the 40s or whenever, they used to do the grand finals. It was like a best of like 160. And they just make these same 2 people play for like 12 days straight. I think we should only invite Crazy Racoons and Falcons and make them play a best of 46 series across 5 days. Every single day they have to play 10 maps, and then they go take a break and the bands reset. That's the only way we're going to see the highest level of Overwatch.
Is like, you're taking the piss, but I kind of like to see it, you know? It's like a real like gauntlet you're throwing these 2 teams into, of going, you know what? We're just going to lock you in a room for 5 days. Only 1 team's coming out. I could get behind it, actually.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like what do they call it? It's like the Gulag, right? They call it is it Call of Duty?
Yeah.
You got to 1v1 your way out of it. We can do that.
Then, before we get to Clan of the Week, I feel like there's a segment we seem to have missed for some reason that we need to talk about, and it's the ChrisTFer appreciation segment, because I just don't know why we haven't done this yet. Because what we need to do is we need to understand that if all of my predictions last week had been wrong, I would have got the piss taken out of me.
So much stick.
When TM lost to Sign on day 1, I was catching strays in that post-match thread, you know, like they were like, well, fuck you, ChrisTFer. And people were tweeting them at me. But I was actually fucking spot on about almost everything at this event, okay? I predicted that an EU team would beat Korean. We beat 3 of them, you know? I predicted that T1, the lights would get too bright. They couldn't win it. They couldn't, you know? I said Falcons would be in the top 3. They were. I said TM would be in the top 3. I predicted everything that happened about every single team. So I feel like you in the comment section right now, if you would have wrote a hate comment, if I got it wrong, then you need to say, fair is fair. and you need to write a love comment right now about me specifically.
The heart emoji works. You don't have to write him a love letter, folks. You can just write.
It needs
a
to
heart
be
emoji,
at least
okay?
100 words. At least 100 words.
You can just do the emoji. You can say heart, and then you can say plat chat afterwards. Okay? You can say heart plat chat.
Okay, that'll do it. Okay.
Perfect. Yeah, it was
Actually,
a proper...
that's probably good for their search engine optimization.
Yeah,
Maybe
don't
hard
do that,
uncoachable is more reasonable.
Hard
Yeah,
uncoachable.
no.
Or just hard ChrisTFer.
No, that's tough.
I feel like... What was I going to say? Yeah, it's gone. Some form of brain damage I think I have. It's just, doesn't work the way it used to.
Over 2 hours in, CBA, you know?
Yeah. It's like JunkBuck. Like, whatever happened on that new Junk City, it doesn't happen to me. I can't remember the first 2 hours of this podcast. Whatever happened, I'm sure I agree with it. Does this mean... Oh, wait, that's what I was going to say, actually. It was a proper... Because we were getting so much stick on the stream for like gassing up EMEA, and it was a proper boy that cried wolf situation, you know? Like, they all thought, because we say it every time, we were lying. But what's the real moral of the story with the boy who cried wolf? There was a wolf at the end of it. And as we saw in Riyadh, there were wolves in Riyadh. All the Korean teams, Weibo, they found out the hard way. There were wolves in Riyadh all along. So
Symmetra is the wolf.
There we go. Which means we should come on to Client of the Week. Anyone want to jump in with any nominations?
I mean, to be honest, the only one I've got is I just want to give a shout out to Capitology, because for everything that I got right, he got everything wrong, like so badly during this event. It was kind of funny to watch. I love tweets like this, you know. It's not the strongest client of the week, but I'll rant anyway. You know, I love tweets like this where it's just kind of like, it's like after the fact, and it's very like, oh, fucking idiots, you believe in the scrims, dear. Someone like me, I know scrims, they don't matter. I knew this would happen, you know. That's what this kind of comes across as, you know. To be fair, it was in a reply. It's hardly like he tweeted it, but fuck it, he can take it. Cap, he's been here before. He was giving it big on his stream as well. You know, he was giving it big on his stream. I did my predictions where I said TM will beat Crazy Racoon 3-2 in that first elimination game, and Cap on his stream, he's like, "Well, I'm going to take a screenshot of this and save it for later." Yeah. I turn up later. He's lost the screenshot. Where'd it go, Cap? So everyone that was ready after one best of 3 to write off the idea of scrims and the idea of Europe and the idea of Symmetra, that's it. This one's for you, you know. Nice to get one right for once, you know.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, a lot of the scrim talk, because it's people can't accept that we can exist in a world where either scrims mean everything and we're full of shit, or scrims mean nothing and they're completely worthless. No one can accept. This is very similar to JunkBuck's. It's all about the context theory, that they don't mean everything, but if you have your best set of scrim results ever versus Korean teams, it might be an indication this land's going to be better than the previous ones. So it felt like everyone was very dismissive about these things without willing to actually even entertain the idea.
Agreed.
Everything's black and white. I mean, nothing's black and white. Everything's somewhere in the middle.
It'll be black and white in a year, mate. Nobody will remember any of the context that, actually articulates those tiny details. So just wait until people forget. Remember that time LK got to a grand final? Don't remember anything else, but top 2 EWC. It's like when, Sugar Free got to top 2 of a grand final with Vega, but it turns out that just happened because Falcons fucked up in the group stage and then ultimately got knocked out by Crazy Racoon, and then all Sugar Free and Vega had to do to get top 2 EWC was beat Flora on Tracer on a map 7 when Violet comes hooning around a corner beating into the air. So at the end of the day, it's all context that people will forget. Top 2, baby.
Was there anyone from because you spent 2 weeks with Al Qadsiah and the boys in Korea? Was there anyone who was a client while you were there, JunkBuck, who maybe struggled to adapt to life in Korea?
Life in Korea? I think they're all pro gamers. They don't care where they live mostly. I think they're I think mostly they all had fun too. I think a lot of boot camp, the people, I think the players like it more. For like they get to hang out with their friends after scrims all the time. I think a lot of teams, actually, the Western teams, they would always like go out drinking after scrims every night. So I think most of the guys would be okay. I would say our team is like the one of those teams who like probably went out the least. Our guys were locked into the game.
And that's why you finished second.
Yeah.
Less time in Itaewon, I think.
yeah.
Itaewon theory.
All the guys go to Itaewon and Gangnam.
All right, a client-free week, almost.
I feel like every time we get to this section, there's surely something that slipped our memory or that felt egregious at the time that has just vanished into the ether of what I used to call my mind.
I always just see some tweets which just make me angry, but then I forget about them and find another tweet to be angry at, so I just move on.
It's the nice thing about scrolling. You'll forget what was at the top before too long. So I guess it's just like a nice easy one for Cap then.
Congratulations.
I refuse to believe that Cap is the actual client of the week. Unfortunately, I have nothing to offer in contrary. So Congratulations, Cap. You've earned it, mate. You and your fucking bit rate.
I kind of agree with Hunter's sentiment. I'm sure something worse probably happened, but unfortunately, if I can't remember it, it doesn't exist.
I mean, it's like I'm just done picking people out of my Twitter DMs and Reddit threads. It's just too low. It's simply too low hanging fruit. I was thinking before the episode, should I nominate all of these people that keep talking about the fact that I got fired, and it's I kept talking about how I wasn't doing my job. And then I wound up getting fired, and I shouldn't, what was I expecting? And it's well, no, you're all still idiots, I was talking about it because I was doing my job, and they know I'm doing my job, and I quit.
That's why it's funny. It's not funny if you're not doing your job. If you're not doing your job, and you're just bragging about it.
My employer wouldn't tweet a funny gif if I got fired, That's not how that works. I'd be upset if that was the case, but it's funny, but these people just don't get it. But I can't nominate those people. They can't be the clients of the week because there's so many of them. There's so many people.
I enjoyed thoroughly the thread about you joining the Undesirables as well. That one was absolutely class.
I saw that today. It's what the fuck? They messaged me on my Discord because I gave them a channel in my Discord, and they're like, "Can you join our Face It Masters thing?" And I'm like, $5 or something. They did something for me. I think maybe they signed up to the stream sponsor of the month or something like that. And it's I just left SSG on Face It Masters and joined their team, and they put me as the coach. It's this cost me 30 seconds of my time dicking around on the Face It website, and they get to make a funny tweet, and everyone's like, "Look at how the mighty have fallen." It's I'm not coaching. These people are so dense.
I love that people think you could go from coaching SSG and NA, and then the only job available is a beginner team in fucking Australia,
That happens to be named after me, by the way.
Yeah, they can't connect the dots. Something might be going on between Unter and the Undesirables, whose logo is his face. They can't figure out. There might be something going on between these. It's just wow. This guy's really washed up. Yep. All he can do is coach his Masters team in OS.
All of that being said, Capitology, congratulations on your client of the week.
Cheers to you, mate. Cheers to you.
Before we forget as well,
your job, mate. That's what I read. He's the next up and coming NA coach. He's going to take SSG to the next level. Okay?
I mean, to be fair, that's maybe. I mean, if you're in Cap's position, right, where you don't get invited to any scrims anymore, it is in your interest to devalue the value of scrims. Just be what scrims don't mean anything anyway. That's why I don't go to any anymore. So he's just trying to manipulate the market ahead of himself. Before we forget, though, we should say a special thank you to Red Eyes for being our biggest supporter on Patreon. Thank you as always, Red Eyes.
Thank you, Red Eyes.
Cheers,
one of the good ones.
Yeah. Fucking force it out of me, Chris.
Yeah, try to pay your respects, mate.
I'm always paying my respects to Red Eyes. Like, it's not just reserved to this podcast. Me and Red Eyes, we have a constant dialogue of thanks and money and thanks and money. Like, it's...
Yeah, fair enough.
Sorry, I did forget about the constant dialogue in my defense, so that's a great point.
It's a classic Poison. Poison Holy Grail.
Holy Grail.
I kind of fuck with Poison Holy Grail. Like, now that you start saying Poison Chalice, I just actually don't think it has the same ring. I'm sticking to Poison.
I think Poison Holy Grail does have legs. To be honest, I think we might have to stick this.
It feels more like its own thing, like Poison Chalice. It's been done.
Yeah, I've been sitting on it. I'm bringing it back. Poison Holy Grail theory.
Did you see the people on Reddit today?
Go on.
So VARREL tweeted Mag to SSG. Now everyone is saying Flora to SSG.
Oh yeah, I saw that.
What is wrong with these people? Like,
no, it's all they do. All they do is they look at a roster and they see a hit scan shaped hole, and then they see another tweet which is a hit scan shaped player, and then they play a classic game of does the player fit in the team, And all they do, there's like no other thinking, just. Team needs hit scan. I see hit scan. It must be a done deal.
I wonder who's going to go. What do you reckon? You think I saw Bliss to Zeta? You think that'll happen? What about?
I reckon they just keep.
What about Lee Su-min to Zeta?
No.
Alpha E back to DPS. Lee Su-min. And
I think Alpha E back to DPS seems like really sensible now that Flora's been shot in the head with a gun. I think like whether or not they get a hit scan player to replace Flora, it feels really reasonable for Alpha to like play DPS.
Stalker to flex support.
But I think like the main support role, it's like just put anyone in there and hope they don't throw the game, to be honest. Like that's JunkBuck theory, through and through, really. Just try and get the player that you notice the least. So keep your eyes on that.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, I have nothing much to say. To be honest, I didn't want to make the podcast too long, so.
No, once it gets to the inside joke part of the podcast, it's really hard if you don't watch the podcast, So you did good by just like pretending you found it funny. We appreciated that.
Like the polite laughing went so far.
It was good. And if you enjoyed the podcast, you've got 40 episodes that you can go back in time and watch. It'd be so fun.
And what are you doing this month anyway, right?
I'll start watching some of them.
Yeah.
And I don't know much of the roster changes too. Like I get like I'm like out of any of those like gossip stuff too. So I have no idea who's going where and stuff.
That's good though. You have the luxury of not needing to play roster changes.
Yeah.
You don't have to worry.
Yeah.
All right.
Thank you very much, JunkBuck. Appreciate it.
All right.
I'm sure we'll speak again soon.
Yeah. Thanks for having me on. Sorry that I was late again today. I'll be always, maybe that'll become a thing. Maybe I'll always be late to your thing.
What do you mean? It will become a thing. This is the third time in a row, JunkBuck. What do you mean it might become a thing? I think it's already happened.
Next time, I'll really try really hard. I don't know why. Only with this thing. Like
there's not enough stakes. We need to raise the stakes on this. Like if you're late, then something you owe me money.
You're late. Maybe if I get paid,
maybe I'll be on time. Okay. Actually, I kind of regret saying the thing. I feel like even the Koreans will walk up to me and tell me, "Hey, I heard you're gonna kill yourself if you're gonna do the thing." But how do the Koreans know?
It was good. Everyone enjoyed it. It was like, and then you styled it out as well.
Yeah.
It wasn't like when Psycho said they were unbeatable and then they lose a week and a half later. You said you'd kill yourself and then you didn't even have to.
Yeah, and then whenever the Koreans came up to me and asked me like, "Oh, you almost had to die," and then I would just tell them like, "I wanted to die. Unlucky, I couldn't kill myself."
Yeah, I mean, everyone took it as like you were supremely confident that you would win, but actually, what they didn't realize is you just like living close to the edge. You just want that high risk.
Yeah.
Imagine how good Merritt would be if his life was on the line. Like you up the stage even more, Merritt would actually.
Oh my god! I think he'd just start floating on the stage. To be honest, it wouldn't even be like an insane gameplay performance. It would be like a second coming of Christ situation.
Mary has to just think that I'm on the other teams all the time. Then he'll
yeah, true. Actually, if you're coaching the red team, he's good for a championship.
Yeah,
no matter what.
yeah.
As for secret sauce, gun to his head, picture of JunkBuck in front of him as well, and Merit will win you any game in any situation.